Oh, welcome in to session 59 of Adventures in Aanthara. It is Friday, because that's when we play this game.
Is it though?
Yeah, I think so. It's hard to tell. Leah said something in chat earlier about how long this week is, and I wanted to reply, "Oh, to be young, and for things to feel long," because time goes by so fast now. Just you wait, Leah. You'll see.
Listen, it was a very long week.
Yeah.
It never came.
Previously on Adventures in Aanthara, the party, after a journey full of intrigue, including several interesting conversations with Rylus Tyriel, the Shadeseer of the Shaded Wind, made their way to Ilmara, arriving last week, or last session, and heading briefly for some breakfast, which was number one on the priority list, but then to the Rosewood Estate, and then from there, through a bit of magical item subterfuge, Faye set up a portal into the conclave of the Shaded Wind, where they had planned to meet again with Rylus after previously splitting with him, to have a conversation with the higher-ups in the organization, who the party has not yet met or conversed with, or had not met and conversed with. And after making their way through the bathroom of the Rosewood Estate into a small meeting room in the conclave, they were led by Rylus to a larger conference room and were met by three figures, one of whom greeted the party and said that they were eager to hear and converse. And that is where we left off. So, what would you all like to do? Would you like to introduce yourselves? You have not yet done so.
They said what again? They said we're interested to hear what you have to say, and they just left it at that.
That's where we stopped. Yeah. You
And had they introduced themselves?
I believe that Rylus introduced each of them to you.
Okay.
Yeah. If anyone needs a reminder, there's three figures: a androgynous-looking, largely humanoid, but dark skin flecked with gold and gold eyes, named Kale Kalarin. A old-looking elven woman named Miralyn Aburel, and a middle-aged to maybe 60s-looking gnome man named Mordecai Overtree. All high shade seers is how they were introduced by Rylus.
I'm sorry. Are we in trouble or something? Didn't realize we turned towards the principal's office.
No, not at all. But you have much of interest in what you've experienced and undergone, and I believe we have information worth exchanging and questions perhaps worth answering on both sides, if I'm to understand correctly.
Oh. Well, yes, I think that we came here looking for information, looking to share information as well. But it was to our understanding that the majority of our correspondence has already been revealed to you. Is that not correct?
The gnome, who's to your right, their left, speaks up.
Well, yes. Much of what Rylus forwarded from his conversation with you was brought to us and was quite fascinating. But if I'm to understand correctly, some was withheld, owing to perhaps a need for a deeper trust in our organization that had not been established owing to the limited interface you'd had with the wind through Rylis. Is that not correct?
I think that does sound correct. And I apologize. I hope you don't take any offense to any withholding of information. I think
not at all.
up until that point, Rylis was the only member of your organization that we had spent any amount of time with or had any correspondence with, and I think, you almost need that official seal on something before you divulge true secrets. Not that we don't take his word, but, heaven forbid.
If we are to understand correctly, this was also a rather personal matter for some of you.
There are some
Glances
personal
at Cliff.
matters that probably are best to remain aside from things that don't pertain specifically to the assassins themselves. If you don't mind.
All right. Well, what you share with us is, by all means, your prerogative. Obviously, we'd like to learn as much as we can, and perhaps can be more useful the more we know. But given the personal nature, we certainly understand some things may be more sensitive. With regard to the assassins, Rylis witnessed evidence. Would you be willing to show us as well?
I believe that would be fine. I guess in the grand scheme of everything, it sounds like there are a few questions that you already have. Perhaps before evidence is solidified, it'd be best to answer a few of those. Are there holes that you are specifically interested in?
Perhaps we could provide a synopsis, and if you had any specific questions, you could interject at that time.
The elven woman on the left speaks up.
Most of what was communicated by Rylis was the nature of your defeat of the assassins, and some of the journey as well. But if we are to understand questions of potential motive, you prefer to withhold. That would be the most interesting information to impart if you are willing to share it. But certainly we would be open to hearing the first-hand account of everything that occurred. Not that we would doubt anything provided by Cjbeards.
No, of course not. Well, the Cliff Notes version, I guess, is last we spoke with Rylis, he had given us the information as to their whereabouts, or what he suspected from them. We had business elsewhere and didn't plan to run into them where we did. Genuinely, we had personal business in Leah, and we were alerted in the middle of the night to the attack on the consortium. We took off immediately, fought our way into and through the consortium in an attempt to specifically locate and protect Hugo Fournois. We got split up, mistakes were made, and we were delayed significantly from following them. However, the means of escape was magical in nature, and we were able to, with the help of some skilled mages, locate forensic traces of this magic.
The gnome on the right butts in briefly.
I'm sorry, just to understand, magical nature, did they have spellcraft of some kind?
I believe it was an item.
Number of trinkets.
Yeah.
Magical implements that they utilized for a number of different events, even ways to cause disturbances in the consortium.
So, no evidence, so as you understand, that they are or were capable of magical manipulation.
They had
Not-
some fashion of abilities, but not traditional arcane, it seemed. Almost as if their nature themselves were augmented in some way.
Not uncommon for Soulforged. I'm sorry, please continue.
Right. We were able to track them outside the city. We took off on foot, staying several days behind them. Through the mountains, it was quite a trek. We were held up a couple of times. I'm sorry, I've forgotten. We did have that interaction with they had assistants.
One of the students.
Yeah, there was a student at the college who had assisted them magically and had unlocked the door to Hugo's study. We were able to locate him and interrogate him.
He's currently incarcerated in Olea.
If
Right when
we
you'll
had-
notice Eclipse kind of flex her hand a little bit to try and stay calm. Yeah.
If we are to understand correctly,
The center figure speaks.
this person was the one who you discovered a sending stone on, the symbol. Alright, please continue.
We did, and we have not used it. I'm sure. I don't know what yet to do with that. I don't think we would ever plan to use it, but if I don't know enough about the creation of those items, if it's possible to locate the other half of it without using it, if they could be traced in some way to each other. Regardless, after working our way through the mountains, we met a very scared young man in the middle of the road, guarding what we later found out to be a secret entrance to a cave. We sent him on his way with the fear of the gods in him, and with the belief that he was being held there against his will. He was not in any way complicit with the crimes themselves. We were able to, using our own magical abilities, scout out this cave where we located a building of sorts. Located within the cave, it seemed maybe like a smuggler's den of some kind. It had a few rooms. We later found out it had a basement with a cell in it, a very large cell. A series, or just one? Two? It was two big rooms.
One, yes, I believe there were two.
I think there was yeah, anyway. Shortly into that exploration, however, some of our compatriots were made. Some of us are sneaky and some of us are not. The fight began, we reconvened. It was difficult. We got lucky. I mean, we're good, but we had help and a bit of luck. And we successfully located Hugo and returned him to a safe place. Now we're here.
A couple questions, if I could follow up. This place, you said perhaps a smuggler's den. It didn't seem constructed for this purpose. Did they create it?
It looked like an old ruin. It had imagery of dragons in it.
Dragons.
Yes.
Odd.
Hmm.
But no further specifics about the place that seem to indicate any intent.
Besides the
hidden.
cell, not really.
They
There was
had gathered
intention.
lots of
That's what you-
books and materials for Hugo to research. Which is why they captured him. So they had those.
It seemed like they were prepared to hold up there for a while, based on the supplies they had.
Yes, I'd like to get to that a bit more briefly. Before we do, you mentioned help. I believe there was a certain additional figure with your group at the time, from Morales' reports. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Although, yeah.
I think Brightwing was just like, yeah, and then looked at and no one else answered, and she's like,
There's sort of like a slight head tilt of expectancy from the central figure.
What that individual has consented to divulge to this organization has been given to Rylas.
It's not our place to speak more.
The elf on the left.
This I understand. We do not all wish to overstep what you have shared. From my understanding of Rylas' report, was actually quite generous with regard to this woman. However, perhaps it is not come to your attention yet. There is interest in finding her from the Ivory Guard. Posters have been throughout the city seeking her for questions. Do you know of this?
We've seen the posters, yes.
From what we have gathered, though the announcements themselves are vague, she is wanted for questioning with regard to potential prior activities of these two assassins. Are you aware of that?
Purpose of the wanted, no. But that sounds like a separate matter from the fact of the assassins at hand.
Back to the central figure.
Perhaps. Though, it does not seem entirely irrelevant that this figure appeared to assist you in a matter directly related to these two figures. It piques interest. I'm sure you can understand.
Of course, but I guess the question would be her motivations for wanting to be on the side that we were in that fight. That's a motivation only she'd be able to answer.
Rylas.
It's true. We
Oh, go
don't
ahead.
know. It's true we don't know what she was doing before we met her. We can only speak to what she did with us, which I can say was a great deal of good.
Rylas kind of glances at you, you speak, and then when you finish, sort of nods and looks back to them and speaks up for the first time since introducing. I wasn't able to pass this part of my report along yet since it's been so little time, but I did speak with her before leaving Leah, and while the evidence to provide her with any sort of solid alibi is slim, I believe her to be honest to the degree that I can assess. Does not provide any solid guarantee, and were there to be some sort of deeper inquiry or court case, it wouldn't hold more than just an expert's opinion. But I felt that was worth sharing. A couple of them nod. Understood. And can I assume that you won't be offering any further information about her or whereabouts?
Seeing as how we are unaware of her whereabouts since we parted ways in Alea, that would be correct.
Or her intent, perhaps?
We knew nothing. Her quest was to join us for personal reasons in taking down these assassins. We agreed to part ways after that was complete.
I will have you roll your choice of persuasion or deception. You know a little bit about the intent that you're withholding, but I feel like there's also just a bit of persuasiveness behind this that is, you're not willing to share more than you're willing to share, basically. Megan face.
Mm-hmm.
20.
Oh my heavens.
Let's
For a
go.
total of...
Oh,
I think you
a
said
lot.
31.
It's so much.
31!
That's
All right.
We need a
30.
different voice. We need a different voice for
Yeah,
31, yeah.
Yeah.
31.
All right. Wow. All right. Back to the most recent imparted witness, which was what you found there with Hugo and the assassins. All these tomes. Do you understand their purpose? Did they provide any inclination as to why he was taken? Are you willing to share that information?
These books. Oh.
I will require absolute certainty that whatever we do share about those does not leave. For his safety.
What would the bounds you wish this information not to leave look like?
That if another person walked into this building asking the same question, they do not get the answer.
Would you be willing to establish a line of communication where, if such a thing were to occur, we could run it by you or someone else you trust?
Yes.
All right. think we can make that work. She glances at the others. Both nod.
Right,
Is-
thinking probably wouldn't be enough for this situation. We would need certainty.
Oh, we should probably say too.
Hmm.
For Hugo's safety, we made it appear that he is still missing. So I feel like that should be very well informed that we did not find him from our mission.
That bit Rylas was able to communicate. We have thoughts on that front we can get to, perhaps. In terms of this information and your requested secrecy, I imagine Rylas has communicated to you how unusual that it would be for the nature of our organization. However, there are areas for exception, and this appears to be, at least in the short term, one of them. I believe it would be for the best that we keep it to the bounds you've requested, with the expectation that we can request from you exceptions should they be needed. Given the delicate nature and connection between this event and others that I'm sure you're aware of, there are figures of import and authority who may wish to know as much as they can. But without your consent, we'll consider that impossible.
Thank you.
Can I get an insight check on that?
Roll an insight check.
26.
You get a sense of the pause and thought that was given to making this kind of agreement, and that it was established and agreed to by all these three parties who seem, to your knowledge, to be high-ranking, if not leaders in this organization, that they have come to an understanding that it's worth it for now, however unusual it may be. So you see honesty on a baseline of caution.
I'll turn to Eclipse, just give her a nod of assurance.
A bit difficult to explain. He didn't quite narrow down exactly what it was either. It seemed they were looking for something of an intense, powerful nature.
Intense, powerful in, what sort of way, if you might?
Magical
Elaborate.
artifacts?
From the Elder Age.
Ah,
As well as histories and theories on the origins of magic itself.
largely old sorts of
Very old.
concepts. Curious. And relics, you say,
Yes.
from the Elder Age.
That's correct.
You see the gnome who's been speaking these last couple moments look to the other two. And they exchange a glance. Brightwing, you would see a furrowed bit of curious concern. That's interesting. We recently had an inquiry for lore on elder relics. Perhaps.
Do you keep track of who made these inquiries?
Yes, the information would be in our records. Perhaps 2 or 3 days ago, I believe.
If I recall correctly, it was a young mage. We can certainly check the records and get back to you.
If that's
You don't
something we're
happen to
privy
know.
Please.
Offhand, if there was a specific relic they were looking for, or just general knowledge?
No, it seemed general information on whereabouts and stories. Rather unusual sort of topic. Not many people are interested in such things these days. That's why it stands out, to my memory. And magical theory, sources, you say?
Sources, theories, histories, how different types of people are able to channel magic through different methodologies, whether it be a learned, an inherent, a divine gift, etc.
We believe
believe
that
it-
through... Go ahead, Right Wing.
We believe it ties into our previous investigation of the missing children. We believe they were I'm sorry, your tongue is a bit difficult. Abducted for their unusual magical prowess at such a young age.
We've linked this through a number of symbols that we've found. One of which attached to the sending stone that we speak of.
The figure in the center nods. Yes. We've done a good amount of background research on that. On all the symbols that there's been 3, if I'm to understand correctly, Rylus has imparted to us. We have a thought, though nothing more at the moment, unsubstantiated and extremely sensitive. We'll come back to that, if that's all right. These tomes, the content within, and your father, looking at you, Eclipse. Do you understand? Do you have any expectation or insinuation as to why?
hunch
kind
is
of-
that people are looking to collect them.
Collect the relics, you mean?
Yes.
And the magical law and theory and the children, how does that fit in?
We believe it ties into what other, I believe, factions that have been established to give magic to other people who don't have it. If you could find the source, then you can make more, so to speak.
Elf speaks up.
I'm sorry. Could you expand on what you mean by that? Somebody wishes to find the source to then create magicians?
I think that
From-
Eclipse could help with that one.
When we found who helped them get into my dad's office, he was insistent that he had been doing research on how to give magic to a non-magical person. Unfortunately, his experiments were unseemly, and that is how we connected that the children were involved.
His
So-
research was denied from the university, and we believe because of this, people were able to give him means of different study, which is how he was wrapped into the assassin.
Contracted by a private investor, if you will.
All linked to the abductions of children in Proward, Salfeld, Ravegrove, and across Kathos.
And you believe that the goal behind these abductions and the study this young man partook in are both connected and in pursuit of a means to create magical creatures.
To grant
Or to
magic to
im-
those who were not gifted.
I see. That
By
is
a means not listed in the prior, and I gesture to Faye.
It's all rather disturbing.
well, certainly would be a monumental shift in any sort of magical study or science to somehow bend Arca to create ability in people. It's always been the case that some are sensitive to it and some are not.
If I remember correctly from the interrogation from the young man, his people he was working for had already studied adults with magic, and their interest with children was trying to see where it came from, because that was where it starts, so to speak. I don't know if that's the best way to explain.
To catch it as soon as possible.
I think it's safe to say that's one avenue that we don't fully understand at this time. It's one question that hasn't been answered.
Seems as though they want to somehow breed magic into the population through controlled methods. That's one
Control.
one suspicion that we have.
That is quite extreme. And from what you were able to observe and gather there in the den, as you've called it, and or from what your father was able to impart, do you believe them to have a understanding of this process, or are they far from it?
The assassins?
Whoever seeks information.
We
I
don't
take it
have
the
an answer.
working assumption is that somebody wanted that information outside of that place.
We may have halted their progress.
We feel that there is a separation of duties. This is but one branch of whatever operation is happening. This is one avenue. The children that are still missing were not there. The children that are still missing are presumed to be in the process of being studied.
And we have tried to contact them through magical means with no success.
The ones you witnessed, they were held in some sort of unconscious state, if I'm to remember correctly.
I think I still have above game. I think I still have one of the circles, if I'm not mistaken.
I think so.
If
Yeah.
it's in
Did
you
your
give it to your-
inventory,
Did you give it to your
Yeah.
dad?
We did give it to him. Right? That was. Did we
But
leave
it was used on him.
Right. So realistically, I should still have one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you probably got it back.
They had
Yeah.
another one, a fresh one on him.
Yeah, because I think we gave one to the Raygrove.
We gave an
people.
inert one.
Didn't Rylus have one? Didn't we give one to
Yeah.
Rylus?
We gave him an inert one also.
Yeah.
Because we had one from every
We had
kid
a
in
lot.
Proward,
Yeah.
and then we took one, and then
Yeah.
we found
We
another
used
one
one
in
on
you
the
used
Hag's
one on
Den.
the Blightling.
We used it on him, and then we traded one because the Raygrove people had one.
Yeah,
So
that's
we
right.
traded an inert one for a live one.
Yeah.
To study it.
But we technically should have.
Because
a
they
live
tried to
one.
steal a kid from the Rave Grove and they
Yeah.
stopped it
And they
before it could
caught
happen.
it.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So technically, I should have a live one.
Okay.
Also
So,
through a magical item that was used.
Yeah. Well, I believe it would be not an untoward assumption to imagine they're either being kept under the effects of one of these or are being kept from prying eyes.
I mean,
Obviously, whoever's
have we
interested in
tried?
this-
I look at Faye. We've only tried the one time. We haven't tried since.
I don't think we've attempted, but it's also kind of difficult because the ones that are still in. We never met them, so it's a bit more difficult to contact a
That is
target that you've
true.
never met. The ones that we had personal connections with are all safe. We'd heard stories of the twins from Sofeld,
Softend.
and then we had the dossiers from the others. Also, I believe it's possible that the kids could be held in a stasis using a similar magic, but I believe we've studied this and it only lasts, what, like a week?
Mhm.
The stasis circlet? So,
Which
and
continues to be recharged.
we don't know how to recharge it.
there is a great deal of arcane capability required to do such a thing. These are not... They are uncommon, but they're not... They are somewhat found in general society for unique and particular means, not usually for kidnapping small children.
Be useful
there are-
in medical purposes or things like that.
Indeed, some are even used by the more affluent for long journeys. And most commonly for prisoner transfers and things like that, of very sensitive natures. But there are arcanists capable of reactivating them, is my understanding. Your mention of split responsibilities, I believe that may tie to the theory we've constructed.
The middle figure glances at the other two. Both of them sort of give like a raised eyebrow nod. And they look back at you.
I believe it would be most fitting for us to ask a similar commitment to secrecy as you did of us earlier. This information is extremely volatile and should not leave this room.
I'm gonna look at Rylus and just kind of nod to him. Well, given the sensitive nature we've been carrying of information this entire time, I think we've been pretty responsible.
If I might offer one small token, there are others with ties to this group. I imagine your instinct would be to share it with them, should the opportunity arise.
He nods at you, looks back to them. They nod at you as well.
That would be best.
We tell Clert.
We do not tell
Sorry,
clerks.
sorry.
We
Above table,
do
just so
not.
I know. Did you say we won't
We
or
won't.
we will?
We
Okay,
will
okay.
not. If
Just
they
wanna make
weren't
sure I'm on the
here,
same
they
page.
don't get
Well,
to
we're
know.
gonna tell Clert.
No, we're not. But seriously, if they weren't here, it is okay if they don't know right now.
The symbols. Only one was tied very directly to a particular name. That was the one you were able to acquire from the Arcanist in Olea. We consulted with some symbologists within our order and various experts who have insight on these sorts of things. While the symbols you found, none of them appear in any sort of records, there are threads, through points in much symbolism that connects to themes, as I'm sure you're aware. And knowing the name associated with the figure you found that stone on, and the symbol on the stone, We believe that it is not impossible, and is in fact probable, that the symbol is representative of Adrexia Greaves and her association with the magical school of Dunamancy. I imagine you may be aware it's largely tied up in the manipulation of time, and as well as the forces of physics. With that as a baseline, there was a thread worth following with the others. If I'm to recall correctly, the symbol of the flame was found on a ring that you acquired. Looking at you, Yasno.
Yes, I did.
On a ship.
In the wreckage of a ship.
With that information, we did some investigation and cross-referenced it for any sort of connection to Greaves or her station. And there was a manifest with record of a ring, a flask, and a magical clock belonging to Katerina Delmirev, the Drycar of Evocation.
They're all in on it. Oh boy.
The third symbol, we have much less to go on there. Again, if memory serves, you, thank goodness for your fortunate encounters, noticed it on one of the figures traveling the road between Proward and Sawfeld. As we understand it, they claim to be mandrake farmers. So we don't have much to go off of. That being said, with the context clues of the schools of the other two, and the expertise of the symbologist we consulted, we believe it likely that this symbol may have some connection to either transmutation or abjuration. The shifting shapes depicted would potentially have some connection to transmutation, but there's also some similarity to arcane lattices of protection that might coincide with abjuration. If the former, that would be Tenon Symphonis Drycar of Transmutation, if we're following this same thread. If the latter, Brand Vidarsin Drycar of Abjuration.
Is that the one we were supposed to meet?
Hmm.
Are you saying that as Eclipse?
No.
Okay.
Notably, to that end, we did also find record of figures matching the description you gave, leaving Kathos through Hawkholm a couple weeks ago. But we lost any trace from there on.
To Sildari.
to the south, or more accurately, to the southeast. The exit from Kathos through Hockholm is rather close to both Vordon and Sildari.
When did this happen?
The figure in the center looks to the elf to her right.
I believe it was perhaps between 2 and 3 weeks ago. We can check our records. Please understand, this is highly subjective theory, postulation at best, and obviously the implications are extremely dire. Also, to the additional piece of each symbol, the diamonds around the 4 corners, or 4 points. There are 2 theories there, though certainly it could just be aesthetic as well. One is that they're meant to represent the points of the compass and in some way capture the global influence of those who bear these symbols. The other is that the significance may be in the number, and that it's possible they're meant to represent members of some sort of subsect of the order. We believe it to be highly unlikely that the entirety of the order is involved in a plot like the one you have largely uncovered. It is much more probable that there is a subsect of some kind who have branched away in their goals. Were that to be the case, it's possible this portion of each symbol may represent the other individuals involved. It goes without saying, our ability to pry into this and seek answers is very limited. These are not only some of the most powerful, but also some of the most secretive and largely aloof members of Aantharan society. Their whereabouts are not often known. They don't often interface with society at large, though some do, and some more often. With that being said, finding any solid proof to support this theory is difficult. But we felt it might be worth sharing, given your involvement.
And just to confirm, it is the diamonds that make these symbols coincide with each other, correct? Because it wouldn't be uncommon for an evocation wizard to honor his preferred school of magic with a symbol representative of that, but it is the the similarities of those 4 diamonds that makes them distinct?
The presence of these symbols at various points in a larger journey that seems somewhat connected, per your own assessment of the children, Mr. Fournoir, the pursuit of this strange old knowledge, it does seem to tie these symbols together, as does the presence of this congruent portion of the symbology. It would indicate a alliance at the very least, and some sort of formal, organized faction at the most. And had we not had the direct link to a name from Mr. Nichols, this likely would not have been a path we would have explored. But as we mentioned, that opened a door.
And you do guarantee that you are indeed a neutral party in relation to this information. You hold no bias. You truly seek knowledge. You understand how dangerous this could be for us as nobodies if you decided to have bias.
Do you mean as to who this information is shared with?
I mean, as to the fact that we were one of the people who gave access to this original nugget of information. We are now one of 2 groups that, to our knowledge, are aware of this link existing. There is trust that must be had from both sides that we are aligned in the secrecy of this, specifically against the organization in question.
To the first part of your question, I can provide what assurance I am able that as an organization, the Shaded Wind is neutral as we can be, and as neutral we maintain as any faction in this realm is. That's more or less the entirety of the crux of our existence. We seek to gather and maintain information, but its use we claim no authority over. And we have no intent one way or the other. As to the latter part of your question, stand against is unfortunately strong terminology. We are not a force to confront. However, we do intend and we do seek to maintain balance. And from everything you've gathered, from everything we've assessed, it would seem that this
we'll call it a faction for now, is heavily intent on some sort of imbalance. Typically, under normal circumstances, our methodology would be to inform important parties so that they could act accordingly. But in this case, we have committed ourselves to secrecy, and it is difficult to assess what authorities can be trusted with this information.
My understanding, the order reaches across Aanthara proper.
That is correct. There's a conclave in each realm. We are not dissimilar from the Archesian Order itself. They were created to maintain the accord between the realms and to be a neutral point of thought and assistance to maintain the balance.
What check and
least-
balance is in place against organizations like that?
Little. The power they possess is quite great, as I'm sure you understand. The initial intent was that honorable mages would be appointed when others pass on. And largely that has seemed to be a successful structure. They have never made a play for power. And since the Accord was established, peace has been the prevailing state on Aanthara.
It would seem
Until-
whatever methods are at play are trying to disrupt that.
These assassinations were perhaps the pebble on the hill of rocks. There is unrest that has not been seen for decades, if not longer.
I really hate that I'm going to ask this question. Do you feel it could be a distraction? If there are, let's not say 4, let's say there is a subsect of individuals trying to accomplish something. Is unrest and assassination attempts enough to cover up possible moves on their part?
We are not as much in the business of theorizing motive. We attempt to make connections where we can find them. But we are studiers of history, and there are repeating themes. when something like this happens, I believe your suggestion is often valid. Unrest and discordance between the realms. It means that the eyes typically focused on maintaining order, peace, watchful eyes that should be directed inwards are directed elsewhere. It is also not impossible that this creation of unrest, it may be a ploy to prepare the realms for a solution that whoever is behind this believes they can offer. Your theory of the implementation or provision of magic, that sort of thing, one could make an argument, is helpful to the safety of the larger population, though those on the opposing side of the argument would maintain that it only increases the prevalence of those who can cause these sorts of unrests.
In the vein of secrecy, would you be able to divulge, was there an attempt on King Lanithir's life?
Not that we're aware of.
Simply with the
They-
fact of no attempt there and a possible individual or group of individuals leaving towards Sildari raises suspicion.
It does. It is also, of the many propositions that have been thrown about by those attempting to ascertain why these happened, some would suggest that the lack of an assassination attempt on King Lanthir was just another piece of the distraction. We have been looking into every possible thread, but there is little to go off of. Though, if we are to reach a point where you're comfortable, an interrogation of the figures you killed could perhaps be helpful in that regard. I believe you've conducted one of a sort.
Yes, I was the one that did it.
And they confessed to their involvement.
They showed great pride, claiming it to be one of their greatest feats when we asked them if they assassinated Rogar Icescale or Brilvia Storm.
Did you press them
on why or who hired them?
No. We figured that that would be one that would be beneficial, potentially for you.
I do have it prepared today.
If we are to undertake such a thing, we believe it would be best witnessed by others. Members of as many governments as are willing to appear. If we do it in secret, while we are well trusted and respected across the realms, there is room for doubt.
A lot of trust.
I would
is
suggest,
something.
if that is the case, then having a person of means that is not involved in their history to be the one to perform it, then, since we were the ones to slay them, they remember. They're not their souls, they're not, it's just a conscious memory, so to speak.
Yes. We're aware of the means, and there are many capable of it. We would not ask this of you in particular unless you wished to be involved. That being said, if you did not, we would ask for you to hand over the means.
I believe more importantly, if you were to do this with others, they may be inclined to lie.
The
There
spell
are
does not-
methodologies for these sorts of things. The goal would be for a single party to conduct the interrogation with others unnoticed but able to witness.
Would we be allowed to witness?
I believe that could be arranged, given your connection.
I have a very keen eye, and while I would be interested in what they have to say, I'd be more interested to see how people react.
Does that mean you'd wish to hold on to the means?
Ed?
Yes.
For me personally, I do not care otherwise. I just would wish to be there in... I'm a very noticeable figure. So in a way that I could watch people without them seeing me.
I believe it can be arranged. I will have to send out word, and it may take a bit of time to assemble an appropriate group. I don't know how long you plan to be here, nor whether this would even occur here. Given our standing and the fact that this was acquired on a mission funded by the wind. It would likely occur within our purview at a conclave. Perhaps this one.
I think personally I would like to have this job come to a close.
Our intention in bringing the head along at all, in addition to providing proof of a task completed, was for this precise purpose. I also agree that I would be comfortable parting ways with it.
The figure in the center looks to you, Eclipse.
I think we asked that enough.
What did,
Alright.
I'm sorry, what did you say?
I've asked it enough. We've done enough.
Okay. Sorry, my heat kicked on when you said that.
Blast you warmth!
I got my AC going.
Can't believe that.
I think moving from, even though it is an ever-present topic for us and likely something that we are not able to just shake off, we do have interest in working finer details with a additional job that Rylus had spoke of.
The gala.
Pending information from you, and hopefully the close of the assassinations position would serve enough to show we are trustworthy. Because one of our asks is that if we continue to work with the Shaded Wind, we be afforded some additional discretions.
Specific ones.
More specifically, I don't think that we're looking for endorsement necessarily. But I feel that information and the power of information and disclosure is paramount for what we're doing. Unless any of the other people I'm here with have additional input on that.
I'm comfortable negotiating terms. We had discussed one specific event with Rylus, and then I believe there was the discussion of a more formal, based on how this went, the potential of a more formal partnership going forward as well. And I think those would be two separate agreements. An agreement for the terms of the job that is already outlined, and then more of a blanket agreement umbrellaing over any potential future works. But I would like to put a pin in this, because while this bag only weighs 5 pounds, the emotional weight of these is heavy. So, unless anyone has any objections. We have both of them, right?
Yeah,
The one is just a fucking mess. Okay.
Mhm.
I'll start with,
they're both fine. One just has a spine attached to it. Fuck that guy.
yeah.
Piece of shit.
There's your head.
I took the whole thing out.
I'll start with, Flint, I guess. the big guy.
Mm-hmm.
Big
I'll
guy.
reach into the bag of holding and just pull out the spine very slowly, and just set it on the table and let it kind of like slinky down, or like
Why would you say it like that?
Yeah.
On the cannibal, it's fine.
yeah.
And perhaps payment of that. And we could supply the other.
The center
Oh.
figure nods to the
This
gnome
one can't
on her
talk.
left.
Oh, yes.
Reaches down, pulls up a chest, and pushes it forward on the table.
The full amount.
I guess that is important to note that this one definitely will not answer your questions.
Yes, the spell needs a mouth for it to work.
Well, more importantly, this one didn't speak. That we could tell.
This one didn't have a mouth, right?
He just might be incapable. We don't know.
Understood. The other then.
Pull Jet's head out of the bag. I'm just kind of a sly smile on her face as she just like with finality, and like the hand stays there for a second and pulls back.
Well, quite good to have that business handled. And it certainly would seem that Cjbeards' assessment of your capabilities initially was accurate, as it always is. With that in mind, I believe he did communicate to you a bit of our long-term interest for a ally such as...
And he gestures towards all of you.
The Wind is... Well, we are largely a peaceful organization, and we prefer to collect and pass on and allow others to handle, as it were. Typically. But having somebody with a little bit more...
He lifts an arm where you see no muscle definition because it's just baggy robes everywhere.
Baggy sleeve back.
Yeah.
Force would be helpful in certain circumstances. The gala being one. I believe Cjbeards mentioned, we have uncovered whispers of a plot of some kind. It seems largely intended on havoc of some sort, though potentially more nefarious terms may lie underneath, but largely unsubstantiated and nowhere near enough evidence to convince the powers that be to call off the gala. That's a very difficult thing to do. These sorts of people are quite stubborn. That said, we were able to secure a significant purse from the organizers that we believe should be suitable to provide highly invisible eyes, to provide a inscrutable watch over the goings-on and security for the site. Added, there are guards present, but they will not have the prior information of this concerning intent, as it were.
Will the gods know of our purpose at this gala? Will they be aware of the fact that we, as individuals or as a group, would have more details? Let's say we did intercept something going on. Would those guards in place know to trust our judgment if we were to ask for their assistance in something?
Well, the baseline strategy, as it were, would be no, under the reality that some of them could potentially be involved or paid off in some way. The concept behind you is that we could leave the guards out of it and have you there in their place. That being said, were something to occur, or were you to uncover something, it might not run amiss for you to inform the guards. At your discretion, of course. Many of the attendees will also have personal guard, so there's that wrinkle as well. With regard to the longer-term alliance, if you're amenable to it, the hope would be that this might be a first mission under that agreement, with the prior being a sort of trial that you passed with flying colors as far as we're concerned. Though if you wish to conduct this one under more of an independent status and then further this conversation afterwards, we can discuss.
Did you have something in mind for us as far as a purpose for being at the gala? Is that what you're implying?
No, that we would largely leave up to you, though we could potentially provide assistance or support for your story as needed. But
We have discussed some strategy.
brilliant.
Do we have... I am unable to attend under the guise of an alias to an event like this without magical disguise, which would most likely be seen through.
Very likely, yes.
What, if any, reasons are we to have for having been invited? Is that up to our discretion?
Largely, we believe that would be for the best, as you are more understanding of your skill sets and backgrounds. If you have a cover story that you believe works well, we would work with you to help it be realized. We do believe we could attain invites if needed.
I'll reach out to a contact that I have in the industry. I've performed at a gala, one of the Radiance galas before. Usually entertainment gains access as a courtesy, and with a dignitary of a foreign country along for the ride, as well as personal guard, I think that could fly smoothly. I think that might look more organic than to procure invites with no real reason.
You gestured at Brightwing when you said
Mhm.
dignitary. Okay. The elf responds.
Ideally, yes, as if you have good reasons, that makes things much more simple and seamless. If you require any assistance to further that plan, please let us know.
I'm willing to discuss this as a group and whether we think this would be distracting or not, but we had discussed that as a plan. What we don't have is clout in regards to if that is the story. No one knows who she is. So would it be possible to... I don't think we would be able to successfully pull it off, but if you had anyone capable of stirring up whispers among certain circles of an emissary from the Ephesian forest having been invited, once we procure invites.
Most curious. You are suggesting a small bit of misinformation.
To scooch. She is from the Ephesian forest.
It's not dishonest.
This does not seem unwise, though I will say it is not particularly in the purview of the wind to pass information to others. However,
I'll look at everyone. Rafe. That one might have...
From what it seems.
One might solve itself.
I'm sorry, what?
Indeed.
Rafe is going to be rafing about you.
Oh no.
No!
It did seem like someone incapable of keeping such a secret.
Not to stir the pot, but just so that there are whispers of recognition in some way.
Like a tea.
We want people to want to talk to us in a situation like
I was
this.
a princess.
I did.
Now everyone's going to think I'm a princess.
They know nothing about your society. You can make it all up, I promise.
That is correct.
Just for our records, you're not a princess?
In our eyes, she is.
Queen, even.
Mm.
But she like generally just looks at that person and just no. But with like the most like insecure, like this is not what it is at all.
Mm. Alright, understood. But the concept would be that a rather rare and intriguing figure is attending, and potentially somebody with influence in a part of the world that is not currently, shall we say, connected.
I would not go as far as to say influence, perhaps, at this time, but certainly someone who's able to offer perspective from a part of the world that we have previously known very little about.
We know how much that high society indulges in exotic.
That is quite true. I will note to my compatriot's suggestion, nothing intrigues, excites, or involves these sorts of people as much as the opportunity to spread their influence.
I think it's also worth mentioning that this is still a workshop idea.
Of course. Just a note worth remembering.
I don't want to pitch it like that. I don't want it to seem as if you're someone who could take information home and be swayed or sway others. I think we had briefly discussed that you were visiting Kathos for the first time and I was giving you a tour of what high society was like.
And also, we need to make sure that you're comfortable. It's already going to be a rather stressful situation.
To clarify, if I may, I don't particularly mean for you to pitch it in one way or the other, just that if a dignitary, even, let alone royalty, of a small, unconnected piece of Kathos is to attend, these figures will be very interested in gaining access.
It'd be too strong a scent then.
It depends
No.
on the angle you wish to take.
I think for now, it's best to go and play towards the exotic. Dignitary may be a bit too far-fetched.
We also don't want any... even the thought of anything related to foul play to cross anyone's mind. We're there to do a job. I don't want to be cornered hearing details of proposed trade agreements in a room where we're supposed to be keeping our eyes out for others. So, I agree.
Right Wing, do you dance?
Probably not the same dances you do.
But you do dance.
When we have festivities, yes.
Perhaps one of the events could be awareness of the Ephesians Forest festivities. A dance of your people. Surely that would gain some eyes, and not be too far from the truth.
I could try. I am not, there are some people who, that's what they do. I do it for the festivity, not for the teaching of it, but I could try.
Best part is when you're teaching someone who's never heard of something before, you're the de facto expert.
Yes, and I'm also very bad at lying.
Which is why it'd be as good as possible to get something as close to the truth as we can.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
Because you're also very believable.
She starts to really fidget with her staff. Okay.
We don't want you to be uncomfortable. If you'd prefer we try to disguise you, we could come up with a different plan. But as it is, you are
No, I think
inherently
this-
noticeable.
No, I agree this is a good plan.
Again, we believe it to be best for you to determine your strategy for yourselves, though if you wish to share it or gain assistance in any way, please do let us know. I will share 2 more points of potential relevance. One, should this be the first of a longer alliance, there is another subject matter worth potentially keeping your eyes and ears open regarding at the event. There has been a growing concern for a weapons smuggling racket between Kathos and Sildari that our investigations suggest the Brennazon mob may be involved in. The mob is always keen to capitalize on circumstances like this to increase their own wealth. If you uncover anything relevant in that regard, any evidence or even small whispers, it could be helpful. And a last note, of the rare few Drakkar who tend to make appearances often, perhaps the most is Orion Marquez, the Drakkar of Illusion, and he will be attending. I obviously cannot suggest or emphasize the need for caution above all else, but the opportunity to interface with one of the Drakkari is worth considering. We thought you should be aware.
As of right now, with the evidence that we have, we do not believe him to be part of... There is no evidence for him to be part of whatever kind of subsect of the Archesian Order, correct? That we've discussed.
No, indeed, though all that we have to connect any of them to anything is, once again, a postulation connected to those symbols, and we have 3.
Means we have a 1 in 6 chance of it being him.
Take those odds.
Should you wish to partake in this within the bounds of the newly agreed connection between our parties, we can discuss specific compensation, but I believe that the intended amount would be 500 gold, and I also believe that we were able to authorize a 75 gold per person stipend to acquire whatever means you may need to attend. I'm sure you're aware it's quite ostentatious.
Am I just meant to wear a hat?
Or am I giving you
Just a hat.
stipend?
Only a hat.
The Emperor's new clothes.
This is the finest silk.
Only an idiot can't see it.
If you find that unacceptable, we can attempt to speak with those who financed it, but that is what we have to offer at this time.
make it stretch.
Yeah. I think to be fair, I think you're underselling us with 500 gold, but the additional payment comes with the fact that this is an experience to be had. We do also get to attend and enjoy to an extent.
The additional hope is that, all things considered, there may not be any need for danger of any kind. That would be the hope, of course. If things go
And-
well, it might just be largely attending a party and interacting with some rather snooty people.
I take it snooty is not a good term.
No.
It depends on what branch of society you're from, dear girl.
It's not a compliment.
That's what I was going for.
Most typically not.
And then I presume any additional work, compensation for any additional work could be discussed on a case-by-case basis, or would be on a retainer at that point?
We are open to both options as it fits you best. This is not an incredibly common occurrence for the Wind, though not without precedent either. We do interface with the Scarlet Swords and various organizations. We would be open to your preferred methods.
Out of general curiosity, how privy are the swords to information when they come in?
Not very. Unless they're seeking something that they wish to acquire lore for. We offer the information we can when they ask.
I see. Thank you.
Right.
I mean, I'm fine with the potential investment. But I leave
Yeah.
that to our resident expert.
I personally think that given the nature of the history of us as a group, given the fact that we have traveled together for just a few months, it would be more advantageous to discuss compensation on a case-by-case basis, with the understanding that were a need for a group such as ourselves would arise, that we would get first voice at, or we would be your first approach for work as it arose. And if it was something that we had a personal conflict with, that we would be able to pass without repercussion.
Especially sounding as if we are the only muscle, and I'll point at Eclipse, that you seem to be having as endorsement.
Largely, in these sorts of things, it may depend on who is available and where the mission may be. Of course, we have opportunities for useful persons like yourselves across all of Aanthara, and I doubt you wish to be sent to Vordon on a weekly basis. But yes,
Yeah.
for
Paid vacation.
what is most relevant and most accessible, that would be the goal, yes.
Would that also include the accessibility of resources that the Shaded Wind possesses? Specifically pertaining to travel?
I assume you speak of our occasional access to teleportation circles.
If you can tell me that he runs really fast, I'll believe you. But yes, those.
It does depend on the situation. Sometimes or they glance at Rylus as they say this. Sometimes the mission does not require it, and it is a resource we must spend to acquire. We don't have our own. But it can be considered as part of the mission's compensation in certain circumstances, of course.
Emergencies only, I'm sure.
Typically.
Speaking of Yasnip, what time is it?
It's closed, for about 45 minutes now.
Right.
We missed the
How do we get back?
That's a very
I
good
mean, now that we're not on a
question.
time limit, we have ways of getting back in unseen. No one at my home knows we left. We were sneaky.
And you wish to return the same manner.
As close as
Yeah.
possible.
We
I
would
felt
at
that would
least
be
to
best
make
for
sure they don't
discretion.
see us leaving from here.
I just don't want to answer those questions of arriving.
What do you
Several
think?
hours pass, arriving
Re-arriving.
after having no one having left.
Oh, well, we do have a side exit that might be a little bit more discreet as far as leaving here goes, and I believe Mordecai could likely help you with remaining less detected.
I think we probably
Oh,
have that covered mostly.
Alright, I
by
want
us.
to see what Mordecai has. I'm
Mm.
interested.
If you intend to return under cover of shadow, something I could help enhance a bit.
You block out the sun.
Not quite so much as that.
Is it better than not being seen at all?
No.
Did we have anything else that we needed to arrange? I will go pick up the box.
mm-hmm. It's decently heavy.
I will sweat.
There's space in the bag. Yes, no.
I will help.
Just based on its size, you get the sense it is not in gold. Because otherwise it would be a lot bigger.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh,
Oh.
It's items.
it's
No.
platinum.
Yes.
It's platinum.
Oh, it's
Definitely
platinum. Oh.
So is it like a box?
Or is it
It's
like
a small chest.
Okay.
I'll pick it up.
Is there anything else that we wanted to speak on before we left?
The wardrobe stipend included in said chest, or is that a separate pouch?
No. Well, did you want to formalize anything regarding our ongoing connections here immediately? Or leave that for?
You mean long-term alliance talk?
Yes.
Oh.
If we're interested.
Well, so are we all in agreement that we feel like the stipend for the wardrobe, potential access to the gala if we are unable to access it ourselves, and the 500 gold is fitting for this event?
Yes.
Okay. So that we're good
Yes.
with, and if you're comfortable, we could take a handshake's bargain on that. However, I would like something in writing stating that we would be discussing compensation on a case-by-case basis going forward, and that we would have first choice or be first contact for any muscly needs you may have in the future, with the right to decline without repercussions.
Would you intend to capture all of this in written form?
Yes.
Well, we can provide you with means to do that if you wish to do so now.
Are those terms agreeable before we draw it up?
Well, we'd like to read it in full, but as far as what you've laid out verbally, I believe so.
The other two nod.
Does
think
anyone
it's
have
also
any
worth
additions,
mentioning
objections?
that one of our additional interests, if you will, is to continue looking for the missing children, or be informed of their whereabouts or any additional involvements that arise from them, as it could relate.
Understood. The extent of that would be worth communicating clearly. Would you wish for us to pass on anything we learn? As
Any
soon as we learn
developments?
it?
Yes. These
look at-
children don't have anybody looking for them.
This is personal.
I believe we can consider that an open request then. And we will pass along what we have to pass along as soon as we have it.
I have one other. With regard to the wanted poster for the other involved, if she were to approach the Ivory God, what sort of expectation would there be when it's an inquiry of information?
Most likely she would be detained for questioning temporarily, though it does depend on what exactly they seek to question her about, or what degree of evidence they may have to justify holding her further. It's not something we can know from the information we have at the moment.
You feel it's a situation enough of warranting her arrest?
It's difficult to say.
Well, if it makes it onto a poster, I suppose it's a bigger deal.
It can be, though in some of these cases it is just rather innocent questions. And those who are found are quickly released.
If someone was on a poster and then wasn't previously on a poster in the future, does that mean that they were captured, or what does that? Or there's no more interest?
That could mean quite a few different things, I'm afraid. It could be that the information being sought is no longer needed. It could be that the person in question was found and the questions answered.
I'm sorry, we don't have wanted posters back home, so just trying to get clarification.
I'm gonna say something else. How secret would our collaboration be? For example, if we, in the name of carrying out acts at your request, was stopped by someone who believed our inquiries to be suspicious, or our actions to be suspicious. Are we on our own? Or would the wind lend any weight or credibility to us in that way?
We could provide you with tokens of the wind's support.
For emergency use?
Yes, though to be transparent, we are not a government body, and we do not supersede the law by any means. So, if, for example, you were to come under legal trouble and attempt to use it as an escape, it would not likely be of much help. But it could lend weight to your questions in certain circumstances, or your legitimacy in others.
Okay. Do we then have your assurance that you won't ask anything explicitly illegal of us?
Oh, of course not. And incidentally, we would prefer that you not engage in anything illegal as part of any mission undertaken for the purposes of the wind. Though you are your own independent body still, this is a business arrangement.
Pull out a pen and paper and start writing that kind of
Okay.
stuff up. Like, first choice on jobs, tokens of credibility, like all of those
Okay.
details with all of the fluff
Okay.
as to be expected.
Mm-hmm. Easily done over the course of several minutes.
Mhm.
When you finish it, you hand it up.
Well, I'm gonna let my friends read it first.
Okay.
Any addendums, adjustments?
So above game, we're asking for, like you said, first claim on on jobs. Some token indicating that we are not active terrorists or whatever. We're not here to cause a problem, I swear.
I'm asking for like a badge.
Mhm.
Right.
I believe adding something to state that this is an agreement between the Twilight Heralds specifically.
It's already written
So-
in there as the Twilight Heralds.
So that's the
I-
stipulation.
Yes, I will note to that front, based off the previous conversation. If you wrote it out as just the Twilight Heralds, they will request language that specifies you four by name, specifically because of
The agreement.
other
earlier.
connections, yes, and previous members, potentially.
I don't think that's a bad thing,
Yeah.
because here's why. Yes, we have to consider Edwin. Yes, we do have to consider Sam. But we're here. This is our agreement.
We are the ones consenting right now.
Yeah. We
can't
can't
consent
speak
on their
for
behalf.
them.
Yes.
My issue is the name.
I know.
Yasna Pathgren.
Your name.
Mm-hmm.
This guy's name.
Okay.
Do you disagree? And do you want to like? Are you trying to indicate
I
stress
would-
about that in
I-
any way?
No, I would maybe like weasel it a bit, and then I'm assuming that Faye would probably say that won't work, and then he'll just take it at that and proceed. I'm not gonna make an issue of it.
Edgeworth's name on it.
Edgeworth
If
And Crater.
and
Crater.
Joe.
I will say,
Joe can't
these
sign.
these sorts of agreements do not really intend for the speaking to animals and plants situation. So who knows?
I would
I will
include
say-
a clause. I would include a clause that would say something to the effect of the Twilight Heralds, including specifically in this situation, blah 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 blah, with the option for an addendum for any
Yes.
additional added members, and I
That's
would write
exactly what I
that
was going to say.
verbatim in there. That an addendum could be made, a formal addendum, to
In writing.
include in writing, to include any prior or future members at the discretion of both the Twilight Heralds and the Shaded Wind.
Yes, exactly
Would
that
help
is.
because then we
agreed.
have to be here and people can't impersonate us to come in and do that.
Mm-hmm.
With pin code number 73142.
Exactly.
real.
Like,
Cool.
Fingerprint identification.
yeah.
Okay. Is that everything?
I think so. I think that
Yeah.
leaves it open-ended enough, and then that we would consent to a gentleman's agreement as far as payment on a case-by-case basis,
Yes.
or something for whatever we like. We would determine
Negotiation.
compensation on a
Mhm.
case-by-case basis, be it a gentleman's agreement or another official, something more official.
Yep.
Yep.
Also doable. Okay. You pass it over.
Mhm.
Mordecai takes it, reviews, for quite a bit of time, longer than it took you to write, back and forth. Probably makes a couple comments. There's a couple back and forths and further tweaks, but eventually,
I believe this is satisfactory.
signs it, passes it along. Each of
Uh,
the members sign it.
We haven't signed that yet, right?
No.
Okay. I want to read his notes before we sign it.
Well, no, this was an ongoing conversation.
Okay, okay.
And notes were
Gotcha,
made to
yeah.
adjust.
Gotcha.
as
To
needed.
get
Gotcha,
to the
gotcha.
conclusion
Yeah.
we're at right now.
Okay.
Which is, this is what we agreed on.
Yeah.
They all, the three of them sign it. They hand it back to you.
Sign that shit.
Big John Hancock, Felicity Rosewood, across the bottom.
Okay.
I'll do mine a little bit next to hers.
Hmm.
Like up and to the right.
How's the path grown?
Okay.
Brightwing goes up, and then it's the most like careful. It takes forever. She's trying to draw it so well because it's her first official document with a signature. So she's like,
It's like when you're signing on the pin pad at the DMV and you want it to
Yeah.
look like your actual
She's-
signature, but it's
she's
Oh,
like-
bad.
yes, true.
it takes forever, and everyone's just
Yep.
kind of awkwardly, just kind of like,
Yep. All right. Eventually, all signed.
We'll make you a copy at our earliest convenience if that works for you.
Confirm.
And
it
oh,
says Raya Brightwing.
I had a what?
Okay.
Araya.
Okay. Do you do that in a way that other people can see it from your party when
Yeah.
you do it?
They know my name.
Do they all?
No.
I don't
Yeah.
think so. Nope.
No.
You
Yeah, I
only
do.
told Yasna.
You only told Yasna
No,
your
we
name.
had that conversation. No, we had the conversation right after we met the Sue Slayer. We were all like putting things on the table, and she told Faye and Eclipse, "My name's
Oh.
Araya."
That is
Yeah,
possible.
yeah.
Oh.
Okay,
That sounds
okay.
familiar.
Okay, I
Yeah.
remember you telling Yasnip way before
I
that.
did tell
Yeah.
Yasip way
In
before.
Rego.
Okay.
Hmm.
But
I have a
she's
hard
like,
time with
Yeah.
the secrets of this and what we know
Yeah.
versus what
True,
they
true,
know.
true.
Yeah, it's best to err
Okay,
on
they all know.
Mhm.
Good to know. All right. Once it's rolled up, stowed, Mordecai reaches down, pulls up another small sack.
oh, prepared this in anticipation that we would be able to. Oh, incidentally, well, I don't suppose they need to know that, do they? It's 5 persons worth of 75 gold.
Right.
When the initial concept was hatched, there were 5 in the party, so
Now you
Between
don't have
us.
to wear just the hat.
Yeah,
That
now
means
now I can wear shoes as well.
Edgeworth needs a vest.
That's what I was
That's
gonna say.
correct.
Oh my gosh.
That is correct.
So that pouch has
Needs a
375
fancy-
gold.
Edgeworth
Mm,
needs a
somebody needs
fancy
to
pot.
write that
He needs a cravat.
Ooh.
Hmm.
That's what he needs.
I think he needs a fancy pot anyway.
That is correct. Mhm.
I know just the people to help us create it.
Like taking it with us.
Wardrobe.
Alright.
Did you need that assistance of you with your
Yes. Please.
Access to the side door.
right?
Yes.
Side question. Is my project done? I don't think that we finished that.
You did. You rolled really good.
No,
Yeah.
the,
So
I,
that
I
was-
have
Oh.
proficiency now.
Yeah.
Is the thing I've been working on done?
Blue boy. How long
That's
did you
like
work
15
that day
things
that you
later.
finished your proficiency?
That was like 8 hours. Oh, wait, no, because I finished my proficiency on the road.
Mm-hmm. It was one of the last days, I think, in the
Mhm.
pass.
It was longer than normal. At least 4. It's usually like 2.
That number was very high, I believe. It's like a 26.
Mm-hmm.
I'll say yes. You can finish.
Okay. Does Rylus have his staff?
He always has his staff.
Okay. Well, I've got one last thing. Turn to Rylus, and I'll pull out a small amethyst ring. About yay big. May I?
Well, it depends on the nature of the May.
Well, this will help protect you a little bit, and I will cast Minor Illusion to show it light up. In the presence of magic, it illuminates. I'd like to put it on your staff.
I'll show you. And the she'll click cast.
What do you
Sure,
cast?
cast.
Because he casts it. Okay, so it lights up the same. Roll a persuasion check just to see how this comes across to him. With advantage, because of
Hey,
what
that's
you
actually
put into this.
Pretty good already. That's the same number. 23.
Okay. He gives you a slight head cock, contemplative look.
It's a gift.
Spins the staff and hands it over to you.
I am going to break the ring, place it around the staff, and cast Mending. And as I do, I'm going to read whatever the fuck is on the side of the staff.
Oh, shit. Oh, goodness. Oh, gosh. Okay, hold on.
I say something really personal, like from your wife.
Do you speak Elvish?
I do.
Okay. You see in Elvish characters what appear to be names, Linnea and Mira.
And when the mending is finished, hopefully, like, it's just big enough to catch on and not move, but it would be affixed to his staff.
The goal being almost to inset slightly into the wood so that
Yeah.
it's clamped well. Yeah. Okay.
Mhm. So it doesn't come up.
Yeah. That is doable. You hand it back to him.
Mhm.
Takes it. Didn't know you did such fine work.
I have a hat for everything.
Indeed. I appreciate it, and I appreciate all of you and what you've done. I hope that this long-term partnership means that we'll be working at least parallel in the future.
Well, I assume that you'd almost be one of our handlers.
He looks at the trio. I see no problem with that at all, if that's your preference.
Considering there's an established respect, I could see that working well.
Excellent.
And if you ever feel the allergies from the book dust catching up, you're more than welcome to join us in the field again anytime.
Hopefully not too soon, but noted. All right. You guys have anything else you want to do here?
Nope. Not I.
Would this is we've written down what we require and what is important to us. Would this partnership grant us access to the libraries?
Largely speaking, it is not entirely too difficult to gain such access, just being part of the general public, if proper requests are made. However, given this agreement, I believe we would be able to offer you priority of some sort, and there are bits that are behind deeper classification that require certain authorizations, and this would grant you a measure of that authorization, yes.
Picked up a bit of a bug for knowledge, it seems, throughout these adventures. I don't think I'm quite ready to shake it yet.
Well, if you're ever not here in Kathos and looking for more, there is the Lanehana Conclave in the city of Morellian in Sildari, and the Koldusk Conclave in Ravengard, northeast.
Would our credentials give us access at those places as well?
The Shaded Wind is one body.
Great. Lane Hana?
I will put it in the chat.
There you go.
Oh my god.
Both of them,
I'm
perhaps?
surrounded by
All of them.
nerds! Anyways.
Oh, that's not. I didn't spell that right.
I totally got it right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Nope.
yeah.
Oh, I had the Y instead of the I. That's
Damn.
cool. Cold Dusk was way off.
Oh, yeah.
Those two S's, man, they're sneaking.
Rylus can take you to the side exit if business is concluded. You did not need that assistance from me then.
I think between Yasnip and I think we could probably get the whole group covered to at least get us back onto the grounds.
Brilliant. Well, thank you for coming and for your frank and transparent discussion.
I
hope that we will have more conversations like this and that we can be of assistance to each other. I believe that we will be.
I think so as well. I'll offer a hand to whoever would like to take it and try to shake each of their hands.
Mm-hmm. They'll each shake your hand. Roll a... roll a d20, Faye and Brightwing.
Why?
One does not ask the DM why.
Why?
Simply
Only
do.
does.
One simply do.
I did.
What are we adding?
Just
You
tell me
don't
the roll
know.
number.
I rolled a
Hmm.
14.
It's a mystery.
I also rolled a 14.
Oh my god.
Okay!
Twins!
The span of the wild spell means we get to
True.
roll again.
If we were an
Means we
Avenger,
get to
we
roll
would
again.
crit.
Bounces.
That's crazy.
Yep.
And
Um,
it's the next high seer.
Shit.
Shade seer.
Both of you, when you shake hands, get close enough to, this is the closest you've gotten because previously there was several feet separating largely the party from the trio. But when you get close enough to the androgynous figure that sat in the center, you see a slight sparkle and glow to their gold eyes that for Faye, you would connect to because you've looked into this quite a bit. And Brightwing, you would connect because there's a similar sort of sparkle that you see in Faye's eyes. This person appears to be Asimar.
Oh shit.
Uh-huh.
Hey yo.
Wish you all well in both your immediate endeavors and the future ones that hopefully will be mutually beneficial for all of us. And we will be in touch shortly about the public interrogation. Hopefully much sooner than later.
I think providing nothing goes sideways at the gala, we don't have, as of right now, any set reasons to skip town quickly. So we should be accessible, if Dot Rylis knows how to contact us.
Oh, and we will get you that name as soon as possible of the mage who was looking into the relics,
Thank you.
given its relevance, most likely.
And if any of you would like to go to the casino, love to have you.
Roll a general charisma check.
Boom.
12.
12. The two, the Asimar and the elf, both give a single eyebrow raise, a sideways look. The gnome, you see a little bit of a sparkle of
I like
interest.
Mordecai is my favorite.
Quite busy, but thank you for the invitation.
Standing.
All right. You guys make your exit.
Indeed.
Okay, we will take a break
Was-
there.
Was that a short joke because he's the taller sitting
Damn,
down?
he is standing up.
Crazy.
That's fucking rude, Yosnip.
That's what a 12 charisma check does.
True.
The standing invitation.
No, you're right. You're right.
You didn't say that, you just said standing.
He's smart. He knows.
we pick up. Rylus leading you to the side exit. Opens a door. You see what is essentially a large alley to the, it would be north side of the building. You came in on the west side. Good to be officially in business with all of you, I suppose.
Are you sure you're prepared for all of what that entails?
You got to taste but one small journey.
I think that was a good primer. Hopefully it will set the groundwork. I can survive anything.
No,
after
she
that.
has the primer.
Right. Stay safe. And talk soon, I suppose.
Looking forward to it. I'll put my hand on Eclipse's shoulder and we will both be invisible.
Okay. Dalton, if you do the same.
I'll put my hand on Eclipse's shoulder and
And Brightwing will figure it out.
Well, I could do more people, but I
No.
just figured we could split
No,
it.
it's fine. I'll use a spell slot.
Whoa.
Well, I can only get 3.
It's fine. I got it. I
Alright.
take Her Majesty's hand.
Okay. Let's calm
All right.
down.
All 4 of you go invisible. There is still rain. So roll stealth checks with advantage, everybody, please.
Oh boy. Can't
Wow.
wait for this. Alright.
24.
I looked at my stealth in a hot sec.
15.
Oh, I'm a +4.
Oh, no, I lied. 13.
Okay.
I rolled a
22, Brightwing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
I also got a 22.
Nice. Okay. As a group, very, very good. You guys make your way back the full path now that only Faye walked, all of you walking it, towards the Rosewood Estate. Eventually reach it. You are intending not to go through the gate?
No, we're gonna hop the fence.
Okay. It is going to be more difficult from the outside because while there are trees nearby the wall on the inside, because they don't care about people jumping from the inside to the outside, they take decent care to make sure there are not trees reaching over from the outside right to the inside. So how are you getting over here?
Can I hoist?
If you can get Eclipse and Nas over, if we can collectively get them over together, I could probably get us inside the house from here.
We're not worried about being invisible anymore, right?
Not once we're inside the grounds, but we also don't want to magically appear in front of a maid and scare somebody.
Are there any maids around?
We're on the outside of the wall.
There are no
Oh.
maids. There
But
are
can
people
we
walking
be
by
seen?
intermittently.
Fuck.
Not constantly, but intermittently.
I can get Brightwing in very easily.
Oh.
What do you mean?
Do you need to touch her to do that?
Well, I need to see her.
Oh, yeah. Let's just up and over.
Up.
All right. Eclipse gonna boost?
I think we need to like
Yeah.
establish physical parameters.
Everybody starts feeling.
Well, so what I'm thinking is I
Arms
can
out,
have the
spin in a
shield-
circle.
I can hold the shield up and then like push
Okay.
and kind of get people.
So
up
you're
and over.
gonna.
We could
You're
do a
gonna
cheer lift.
Kinda,
Okay.
yeah, whichever
She
one
weighs
works.
90
but-
pounds.
Yeah,
Okay, so Brightwing's going over. Eclipse, you're lifting.
I can do it for everybody and then just get over on my own.
Hardcore.
Yeah, if you're confident with that.
Hardcore,
Okay.
hardcore.
Roll an athletics check. Who's going first?
That's a good question. Who wants to go first?
How wide are the bars?
A wall.
Yeah, is it bars
it's a
or is it a
wall?
brick wall?
There's bars in the gate that are at the front, but most of the surrounding, where you guys, including where you guys are at, is wall. Yeah, stone wall.
I will go first. I will try to get up on the wall.
Okay.
Okay.
and I will
Roll
stay at the
athletics.
top of the wall.
Okay.
Can I run and like do
man.
a leapy
This would
leap
be the
off?
perfect time for stone shape if we weren't
Because-
all invisible.
Are you
Because
trying to leap off of Eclipse?
I'm trying to leap off of Eclipse, but do so in the fact of in certain circumstances I can use acrobatics in place of athletics to clamber up into environment.
That is correct because of you have a thing.
I have a feat.
Um.
Not a
have
feat, a
two.
background. It's one of my background. Yes, I have 2 feet.
Yeah, it's a background feat. Interesting.
I have a thing.
I would say, here's what I'll say. I will say that you, as the player, can use acrobatics in that if you pull off that setup. I will also say, if you're attempting a running jump onto
Mhm.
shield or step onto
Mhm.
shield leap with an invisible eclipse, there's
Mhm.
gonna be some difficulty there.
Yep.
You can't see your
I
own foot.
want
You can't
to-
see the shield.
Nope.
I want to do this in a way where like I watch where the water is falling off from the front of the shield, and I want to hop off of that and just kind of like try to bound off of the wall to get a little extra space and then
Okay.
be able to clamber up onto the top of the wall. I'm not trying to go over, I'm trying to get to the top of the wall.
Okay. And Eclipse, do you, well, if you talk this out, or Eclipse, do you intend to provide any force or just provide stable launch?
Depending on how he wants to do it, I would stay still so he can gauge it properly. But for other people, if they wanted to like get on and then I can push up to give the rest of the height, is what my other intention was.
It's what,
But
like
this
8
is this
feet?
plan, then for him, I will stay still.
How tall's the wall? 8 feet? 6 feet?
More like 12 feet.
Yeah,
Ooh.
it's pretty big.
Yeah. Not
We
easily
good,
clambered.
We good. We good.
So, Naz, you want her to hold steady.
Hold steady, yeah.
Okay. Where vertically?
Is it
Her
just
shield?
vertical?
Yeah.
Probably
Chest
like
high.
Chest
At an
high.
angle, yeah.
Like a little bit of bent knee.
Okay.
Like 5, that'd be what,
4.5
5
feet off the ground?
5.
So you're
Four and
gonna
a half feet.
So-
jump onto the shield
Mhm.
and then jump off of that.
So I'm trying to go from that to hit
Onto
the
a-
shield at like 4 feet to a little
Okay.
bump off the wall at another 4 feet to make it a 4-foot clamber. That
Okay.
is my player setup.
Okay. All right. Let's do this. Eclipse.
It's so much easier if I had a movable
Mhm.
rod right now.
Yeah. Eclipse make
have one, it's just not in your
This
possession.
is going to be a straight strength check because it's just holding the stability. It's less of like an athletic movement.
Just a strength check.
Mhm.
Do I need to unleash for those?
You're fine.
I'm fine. I don't like how that didn't roll hello. Okay.
It just fall. It just was like,
Just a strength check, so it's just the
Mhm.
modifier.
Mhm.
Okay. 24.
Jeez.
Easy.
Okay.
It was a
All
natural
right.
19.
You have a brick wall of Eclipse to jump off of. All right.
Oh yeah.
I'm very good at staying still.
She is the
Okay.
stability of the group.
So,
emotionally and physically.
Yaznip,
Is there?
roll a perception check to
Okay.
pick out the location and angle of the shield through
I
the
like to think
raindrop.
he set it up, and then I just stayed
Mhm.
that way.
He's like,
So
don't move.
nothing should
go.
have changed.
Don't. Hey.
14.
14 is enough. Okay, so you don't end
My
up
stealth
having to
is
make a
15,
deck
you
save
can't
to not just
find
stay
me.
pinned into the wall.
Draw
Alright,
X
and
on the
then-
ground.
And then roll an acrobatics check.
We do like in stage show where you have to spike it.
Yeah. Put
Mm,
little X's on the ground.
26.
Holy shit.
Wee. Okay. You
Without
get
powers
a
combined.
coolest
Eclipse.
thing you've ever done that no one's ever seen.
Yep. You see
Mm.
the slight shift in rain move towards you quickly after the setup, and then you
Mhm.
feel the and it's very quick, and then
Yeah.
there's a slight, and you hear the sound of boots and hands on wall as you land atop the wall, basically perched.
I
And
like
you're gonna stay there?
think as
I
he's
am-
running, the pupils will dilate because it's trying to catch something that's
Mm.
moving.
I will take out a bead of nourishment, place it on top of the wall, and let go so it becomes visible.
Okay.
Aim for the bead. I'll try to help you get over.
Okay. So now you're gonna Eclipse. You're gonna set up and do more of a sheer lift for the other two.
Yeah.
Okay.
With not a lot
Alright,
of force, it's more like they can get on, and then I'll just push up.
Do I have
Stand
a
up
fucking
with it.
rope?
I mean, we have rope. That is.
Probably.
Wait,
I don't
we
have
have
rope.
less rope because we fucked
I don't
it up.
have rope. Yeah, I don't
Yeah,
have rope.
We might
Okay.
need new rope
We're
because
good.
we fucked it up.
You
This is
did use
better.
a lot of rope.
Imagine being
A lot of
level 8
rope.
and needing to buy rope.
Listen,
Yeah, we have to. We need a
we've
shopping
Seven
done
list.
some
copper.
very large endeavors in the past. All right.
Okay. Who's going first?
I can give you Adwin's shield, and you could lower that, and we could. I
Oh
just
my
want to
God,
use all his
imagine.
crap for
Yeah.
impractical things.
That's so fucked up.
Oh, is it an action to use the paint?
Painting stairs on the side?
I believe it takes time to use the paint. It might be more.
Also,
Yeah.
it's rainy, isn't it?
It is
I don't know
raining.
how well it'll stay.
That's fine.
I mean, like, who wants to go next? Because literally, it's just.
Did we have just drawn a door?
No,
This is
because then
more
it would
fun.
stay.
Yeah, we don't.
We
want
need to
this
get.
be
This is my own
permanent.
house that we're trying to break
Oh, that's
into.
true.
We draw the door and then we draw the wall again.
Yeah.
The drawing of the door will also be very visible, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
I'll go,
kinda...
I guess.
Okay. All right. Eclipse roll an athletics check. Brightwing roll a dex save just to keep your balance. It's a low DC.
Oh boy. all
Wait.
right.
One sec. We might big brain this. I'm gonna drop the hat.
Oh,
Okay.
good. Wait,
On the ground?
Oh.
because I'm not wearing it, right? Yeah.
I'm gonna yeah, because I still have it from
Right. Right.
the thing.
Yep.
Brightwing, ask Joe to help you with being strong to climb over this.
Okay.
Let's see what the hell looks like that.
Oh, you won't see it.
Because it does not require attunement.
He just
No, it
do.
does not. And it hasn't been used today, correct?
Or just
Okay.
do. They do.
Mr. Joe.
You put it on. You put him on.
Yeah.
Yes, hello.
Hi. I need assistance to climb over this wall, and I am not strong like my compatriots.
I take it you mean physical strength as opposed to strength of heart.
Believe in the Joe that believes in you, man.
Everyone needs a Joe.
Everyone needs Joe.
Get you a
now.
Joe.
Yeah.
More the latter.
Sure, all right.
And you feel a warmth seep into your muscles, and then almost feel like they solidify there. This warmth, and you just feel a little bit more strong. I'm assuming you're going with athletics for the skill.
I don't know how much this will help me, but yeah.
Well, it gives you proficiency, so you can add your proficiency bonus to athletics check. So Eclipse, make one to lift her. Brightwing, make a dex save to keep your balance.
Okay.
Okay.
And not that anybody can see it, but it transforms into an olive wreath of gold leaves,
Oh, how fitting.
Real.
like gladiator style.
It's an athletics check now?
Mm-hmm.
A dirty 20.
Okay.
9.
A what?
9. Okay. Well, the low DC was still 10.
I'm also helping from up top. If it
Not yet.
helps
You're
at all.
not.
Damn
This
it.
is just Brightwing keeping her balance as Eclipse lifts up. So
she's barefoot on a slippery, wet shield. So it's not
It
gonna
is
go great.
slippery, and it's gotten more
Yeah.
slippery in the time since Nas made his run. So you, as you initially get on and try to hold balance and Eclipse lift, you sort of slip and slide a little bit, grab on, and you're kind of like half on, leg off. Eclipse, you feel the leg like in your shoulder. Make an acrobatics check to stand up without falling off.
I hear like that sound of like a
Squeak,
foot
yes.
on squeak. That's all right. That's okay. You're gonna get it anyway. Go right wing.
Let's go. All right. You
Inspiration.
have an inspiration, D8 if you need
Thank
it.
God I needed. Oh, I could have cast guidance on my. I can't cast guidance.
No, you can't.
You can't.
No.
I can't cast. I didn't cast guidance. DM.
Mm-hmm.
I did do it. Okay. Oh, thank God. I rolled a 3, but plus 3, so a 6 plus 8.
Wow. Okay.
14? Let's go.
That inspiration was highly necessary. Okay. You're able to shakily stand. Eclipse, your very high athletics roll keeping the shield steady is the only thing that really makes this possible. And you are able to stand until you're basically, you can like just barely reach to the edge of the wall. You're aiming near this bead. Nas, you don't see where her hands are.
Mhm.
So what are you doing?
I'm like holding out an arm to try to like grab whatever comes near.
Just feeling around?
Yep.
Okay. I will say roll a d20.
Perception check.
11.
Okay. That is it takes a few seconds, but not enough that Brightwing loses balance before you feel
Mm-hmm.
and you grab on.
All right,
Okay.
baby. Come on.
Brightwing, make an athletics check with advantage, and you have your proficiency bonus, which I believe just cancels out the negative mostly.
I think so.
Good. It's good.
That's good.
Oh, good. We do it.
So it's a plus 2.
Okay.
So minus 2. So it's just.
Wait, what?
Wait, you
Wait,
have a
what's-
-2 with your stats?
I'm a minus 2 with my stats. And
You have a
then
plus
I get
3
plus-
from your proficiency.
plus
Plus
3
three, so it's
proficiency.
plus
So I
one.
get plus 1. Whoa!
One plus
Mhm.
1 with
Whoa.
advantage.
Whoa! I got a 19!
Okay.
Right. Let's go, Brawnwing.
Oh, shoot. Okay. You feel the clasp of Yasnip's arm. You pull up with that and then clamber up with your other hand onto the wall edge and eventually lift yourself up and are also atop the wall. Do you want to stay up there? Do you want to jump down? What are you doing?
I think it's more funny to her to like be like, oh, I did it, and then slip off the other side.
Oh god.
Okay. Okay. Roll a deck save because this is more than a 10-foot fall.
I hope you fall on the right side.
Oh my god.
I rolled an 11.
Okay. You are able to just land enough given there's like a little patch of a low bush that cushions a bunch of the fall, and with that you land enough that you still like topple over and land largely on your butt, but you don't take any damage and you're on the other side.
She like lays on the ground looking at the thing. Thanks, Joe.
Nas, oh, you're very welcome. Nas, you hear this and somewhat see the shift in rain as it goes crashing down to the other side, but at least feel confident that Brightwing is in.
There's a laugh.
Okay. Fang?
Yeah.
Okay. Roll a deck save. Clips, I'm just going to hold your athletics check.
That's very fair. Because it's the
21.
same motion.
21.
Okay, you might have done a little bit of cheer at some point, who knows, but you maintain very safe,
And she's
clear
canonically
balance.
taller
Yes, that
She
is
doesn't.
also
It's
true.
not at the tip.
You are able to reach up to where your hands can reach the wall. You don't have to like get the little boost from Yasnip's arms. But if you want to help Nas, you can. I like how I'm switching between Yasnip and Nas every other time I say your name.
Mm-hmm.
If you want help, you can ask.
I'll try.
You
All right,
got
roll
it.
an athletics check.
I beat Rylas at arm wrestling. I can get over
You
my
can
own.
beat a wall.
I've snuck into this house before.
You've come
Many
back from
times.
death.
That's a 3.
Okay, you
You've fallen on your ass.
you normally would get like a little foothold on the wall that could help,
Mhm.
but it's just a little too slick from the rain, and you cannot. So you are struggling.
I've been humbled.
I'll reach down.
Okay,
Grab her
you
arm.
take a second, find her arm, and make another check with advantage.
I believed in you from the start.
That's too much.
I rolled 2 2s. It's another 3.
Oh no. Okay.
That's all right. That's okay.
Faye's gonna get it anyway.
Faye is struggling. Here's what I'll say. Eclipse, you have the shield at like basically where like your one arm is tucked in with your elbow.
Yeah.
So you're holding it there so that she can stand. If you
Yeah.
give a launch, she can
Yeah.
make one more check. If it fails, it might be
Yeah.
quite catastrophic.
I imagine she's just kind of standing there and she's just like,
You have to let go of the wall. Grab my arm.
okay, but like any day now.
But if I let go of the wall, then I'll slip. It's wet.
I'll catch you. It's fine.
Up.
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 Uppies.
Okay. Uppies.
3, 2, okay, roll an athletics check, Eclipse. And roll an athletics check, Faye.
With advantage again?
Scared of uppies, bro.
Yes, with advantage again.
Wait, what is it? Mine's just a straight roll,
Yours is athletics, because this is
Oh,
actually
nat 20.
but it is
a lift.
okay.
Let's fucking go.
Cool, because it was a 12.
Okay, that's still enough of a total. All right, you give a huh, and it's enough for Faye to grasp on, and then
Like straddle and like sit with one leg on either side of the wall.
yep. Eclipse, you're still at the bottom.
Okay, I'm gonna put the shield back on my back,
hmm
and then I'm just gonna go like this, and then I'm gonna claw up the side.
Okay, roll an athletics check.
Okay. Here we go. This is where we start struggling, gang.
You can do it.
16.
16 is enough.
Okay.
Okay, so you get a little bit of a small run jump, start clamber, and with basically 2 strong pulls, get yourself to the top. You all see the rain shape.
Yeah,
Up to
and
the
just
top
kind
with
of.
you.
Like Superman pose up at the top. Or superhero pose.
You are all on the wall, or in some cases on the ground on the other side.
Right wing, if you're on the ground, please move so we can land.
Superhero landing?
Really bad for your knees.
Iron Sun's landing.
Iron Sun's landing.
Why do you want me to stand?
Just back up 10 feet.
Okay.
The best part about this is nobody can actually see it.
That's the best part.
So make it really cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's regardless, it's going to be really badass, and we'll all believe that it was really badass.
I have a plan.
Isn't it for it to not be noticeable?
It's fine.
On
it's fine.
3.
Okay.
You're gonna.
I'm going.
You're gonna
I'm
be
gonna
gassed.
pick up the bead.
Oh my god.
I'm gonna
Okay.
pick up the bead.
Yep.
In 3.
Mhm.
Yep.
1, 2. I'm going to throw the bead in the air. 3. Jump down, try to superhero pose, and catch it in my mouth.
Oh my god.
Okay. Faye and Eclipse.
Iron Sun's
I will
pose.
follow.
I will like slide down the side very quietly,
Yep.
and then when I get the bottom, I'll jump to make it sound like I hit the ground a little loud.
Okay. All right. I will say for you, roll an athletics check since it's mainly about your strength as you lower yourself. For
Another
Nas, it'll
fucking
be a
natural
dex
20.
save. Good
That's
gracious.
3 tonight.
Jesus
It's
Christ.
been this little dice.
Nas, roll a dex save. Eclipse, roll dex save.
Oh my god! I also got a natural 20.
Yeah, you did.
I got a 22.
Wow!
No,
Okay,
22.
22. Okay, yeah.
22.
There's a
32.
super sick panel in the comic where there's these outlines of shapes in the rain that are like doing these super sick landings. You don't see any people. And Nas, roll a...
It's like an activity book where there's just little dotted lines and you have to draw
Yeah.
it in yourself.
I want to make this a perception check to find and arrange yourself in the right place to catch the bead.
Natural 1.
It hits you in the eye, but nobody knows.
Pop it. in
Unless
the
we
mouth.
count it as an attack against yourself, in which case you become invisible, but I won't.
Mm,
Pop it in the mouth and eat it.
Okay.
okay. So we just gotta get inside and get dry. And then we can do other things.
Otherwise,
Okay.
do you have a pool?
There's a pond. That-
There's a pool.
Oh, okay.
Oh, well.
We could
like-
pretend we're coming in from the pool. In the rain. Because we like to party.
Do we?
I feel like though
It's
that's
fine. I'll blow some air on you all. It'll be fine.
Okay.
okay.
All right, you guys
Sneak
are going to
back
sneak
into
into the
the-
house.
Into our rooms.
Roll a stealth check with advantage.
So can we not get back up
Natural
to the window?
20. That's what
Or-
it is.
Wow, good heavens.
What's up?
Like, can we not get back up to the window where we were?
It's all like it's like
We're
a
on the
villa.
ground
So
floor.
most things on most things are on like one floor.
That's what I mean. We can't get back into that window and then just.
I would expect that you did not leave the window, the one where Faye went out, you mean?
Yeah.
Open, given that it's raining.
I mean, yeah. But...
We were expecting to come back through the portal.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay,
Correct.
never mind.
We gotta take this
Yes.
a long way.
Stealth checks. Oh, okay. Yeah, then. Okay.
27 with a natural 20.
Wow.
That's 4 in a row on this dice.
I
have been it was a natural 20 and a natural 1 by the way, but
Oh, man,
I have
I didn't
had
roll this one.
The dice are on crack.
absolute
That's
shit
cool.
dice rolls for the last several weeks in this campaign and the other one.
24, right wing?
Yes.
24 as well.
Wow.
No one will ever
Oh,
find
sorry,
us
20,
in this
20. I rolled
Okay.
60 plus
Okay.
4.
Still,
Sorry.
But there's the
who needs paths without a trace? All right.
Oh yeah, 28.
guys-
sneaky mountain training.
You guys find your way to a side door, which Faye is able to easily find, knowing will be unlocked, and slip in unnoticed. What do you do when you get inside?
I'm gonna shake and watch it just spray everywhere.
Yep.
Go back into the room, whoever's room it was that had the bathroom with the door.
Okay. Easily done. There is a slight trail of water that you were leaving behind, but
It's fine.
It's fine. No one asks questions.
And then,
I'm
when we
just
get
gonna
to
come
the
along in
room,
Mo style, just.
Little
when we
snap
get to
shot.
the room, I'm gonna turn around and cast Gust in the hallway to blow the trail away from our door.
okay. All right.
I'm gonna look at this ancient heirloom of a door that is just a bathroom door,
hmm
and look at like, just picture because I don't know if the well I'll drop the invisibility. Look at Eclipse's claws, and look back at the door.
You know, we
And
could
then-
just nod.
I can see under it. I can get you through. Do your thing. Do your thing.
It's fine. I'll just dimension door in real quick.
Okay. You don't even have to see. You just have to know where you want to go. Okay.
Just like the red carpet, and step through effectively where the door was
Mm-hmm.
to the other side of the door and unclip the thing and walk back out through the door.
Done.
As soon as she
Easily
comes
done.
out, blasted with gust to dry off.
Okay. Uninvisible, you and now Faye. Oh, and you are the ones concentrating on the spell, so everybody becomes visible. Faye's hair is a little bit fluffy.
Extra time for eclipse. I imagine just goes.
You put a bag of washing onto the head. We've done that before.
Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah.
Okay. What do you
Okay.
all wish to do with the remainder of this evening?
What time is it?
It's
It would be. Ooh, boy, this is a tough one. It would be 4:15.
15.
We've got time. Well,
Does this mean we have jobs? Is that what this is?
I've never had a job. I've had gigs. I've never had a job.
I feel like this is a job.
What if we don't do that right now? Because it seems like some people don't like the idea of it being that.
I don't have anything against it. I think it's
Just new.
new. New is good.
New.
Well, I have a bag of coins burning a hole in my pocket so we could get the name of Rafe's tailor, and try to get that over and done with. We could save the garden for a day when it's not raining if we'd like, but I don't know, Brightwing, if you want to see if it will be raining tomorrow. Can you tell that far out?
It's 24 hours. So cast it, scroll through like you do on the app. On the
Update location. Choose 7 day. Change to 24 hour.
Precipitation percentage is.
Okay. You see the current decently intense rain and thunderstorm. And then as it pans through this like rotation almost of a day, it seems to lessen and then become essentially overcast without heavy rain.
By around the same time
overcast
tomorrow.
without heavy rain tomorrow.
Well,
But this thing is never right, so.
Real.
I mean, wasn't it that? Never mind.
It's just a traipse back down to the
Well, now we're
dusk
just
ward.
us,
Dusk ward.
so it doesn't matter. We can go wherever we want now.
True. I guess I just meant as far as walking through the entire city again in the rain, but that's honestly fine. Dawn Burrows is where it is, at the bottom.
Oh, did you already ask, Rafe?
No, I hadn't gotten that far. And then, I should probably reach out to somebody tonight
Contact.
to see. Well, I've got a couple options. I could put feelers out. Okay. I know my brother, and I know that he won't go far for things like clothes. So we could try that and just get it over with, and that would give them time to make anything or make any alterations.
I think that's ideal.
Mm-hmm.
More for them than really us, because I'm sure we're not the only last minute people.
Yeah. All right. I'm gonna open the door and walk to like one of the more central areas of the home.
Mm-hmm.
Just where's my degenerate brother?
You hear after about 5 seconds, like sound of someone running into some suit of armor or something that was off on the side. What do you mean, degenerate? I'm the highest of society. Thank you very much.
Mm-hmm.
And, coming around the corner, you see Rafe. What?
You mentioned a tailor.
Well, I do believe that they would prefer to be called by something more fancy than just tailor, but yes, Chevalier Couture.
Mm.
It's in the Makari district,
Mm-hmm.
unsurprisingly.
Mm.
If you say I sent you, it's likely you'll get to walk in with Isadora almost on the spot.
Isadora. at-
Chevalier. It's her place.
Okay. Would they be open at this time of afternoon? Probably, right? This close to the gala?
What time is it?
Like 4:30?
I suppose it's possible. I'm sure they're doing quite a bit of business with the gala coming up, but you'll want to go out in this, though. Wouldn't you rather wait till the weather's a little better?
It'll be
Okay.
overcast tomorrow.
Is
She's
that
never
a
wrong.
guess? Really? Have you ever taken that to a bar or a tavern and tried to make a parlor trick out of it? You could probably bet a few people under the table. Assume we could find them the next day.
That's it.
But why?
To make money, of course. What do you mean? Oh, wait, you don't use money. That's right. Well, if you insist on going out in this, I insist that when you return, you have a warm dinner with me and a drinking game afterwards.
I accept your terms.
Deal.
What the heck?
Um, yeah, when we get back then, I guess.
Should I have them whip up something specific, or?
Not anything fancy.
That's something for Brightwing as well.
Yes, something meatless.
Right, something meatless. Not something fancy. It's difficult to convince Carlina, but I'll do my best. Alright, I'll see you all when you get back then. Safe and dry travels, though I don't imagine you'll have much luck with that. He takes off.
Exit through the front door this time. Like
Okay.
respectable people.
Okay?
Pull my shield up. and just-
Yeah.
Get
And
a
you guys want to
umbrella.
make your way
Yeah, we're all like,
Chevalier Couture?
Chevalier
Yes.
Couture. Yes.
Okay.
oh boy,
All right.
here we go.
You guys take, with your passes that you have acquired, the rails down one district. Get off at the station near the Skyport that you've seen a few times now, which incidentally would mean for those of you who've seen the poster board with the signs, you'd be able to walk past it if you wanted to. And make your way towards the Magna Market, which I believe that you've all seen before.
We went to the
But it-
magic shop there.
You
last
did.
time.
Yes, you did. Okay. So you make your way there and ask around a couple. It does not take long at all. Follow the signs and eventually reach what looks like an extremely overly opulent exterior of a building with on a purple sign in gold letters, Chevalier Couture. The outside looks very much like a fine resort building in Restalios. Faye, you would recognize. Tall, pearly white stone structure. And as you enter, there is a very sing-songy bell, not like the typical bling, 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 bling. And you see just a blast of color, but not like overly gregarious, well-balanced, beautiful, high ceilings that are covered in frescoes and natural light that comes in, though relatively gray because of the weather, through these large arched windows. And there's an aide, an aide sitting at a desk.
Can I help you?
Hello, my name is Felicity Rosewood. I believe my brother Raphael is a frequent flyer here. He told me to ask for Isadora.
Oh, yes, indeed. I'll see if she's available. Rafe is a good friend.
This middle-aged human man with a small mustache gets up, heads back, and about 2 minutes later, you see coming out from behind some curtains a what looks to be maybe late 50s satyr woman, very voluptuous with a mane of curly blonde hair and bright green eyes, this slight elegant pair of curving horns above a pair of floppy ears, blonde fur on the bits of hooved legs that you see visible beneath what is a absolutely gorgeous lavender dress. Fine jewelry of every kind on nearly every appendage that jewelry can go on. She sees you all.
Oh, hello! Let me help you with that 1 second.
And pulls out a small wand from a pocket of the dress and sort of waves it across you all. Cast what you would figure to be prestidigitation, and all the rain dries away.
Ah, that is better. My aide says you are friends and or relatives of Raphael Rosewood, is that correct?
Yes, we have secured kind of last minute invitations to the Radiance Gala, and as you can see, our current attire just will not do. So, I was told that you are the best, and we only accept the best.
Well, all of that seems quite accurate. Do you have something specific in mind? Looking for a particular style, season? Is
Well-
something similar to what you are wearing now? Or because it would take it in a different direction if I was you.
No, not at all like this. I think we've all got pretty specific taste.
All right.
Could we browse around and see if anything catches our eye for a moment? And
Of course. There are a couple of books on that shelf there that have many of my collection from past seasons. You can use that for inspiration. Let me know if you have any questions at all, and I will prepare to hear what you have.
insert a Benny Hill montage.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Okay. You guys figure out what you want? Do you know what you want?
Mhm.
Okay.
I
and
think Brightwing is just looks very lost, and I think
Yes.
she goes up to Brightwing. It's just, I mean, she goes up to Faye. I don't. Can you help?
There's books here that have examples in them, but nothing is set. Everything is able to be customized. So if you like one thing from something and another thing from something else and a color from a third, it could all be combined for you to suit your taste.
Just don't have taste.
Do you want to try on a sample and see how it fits? And we could go from there.
Okay.
So we could try
I
something
guess
very
what I'm saying.
poofy. You could try on something very slim.
I guess I would defer to you. What you? I don't know what is worn at these things.
I want you to be comfortable. That is the most important thing. If it seems something too casual, then we could redirect, but I would trust your gut. We could always fluff it up if we need to.
Well, I wore the dress that your lovely made, and I did not like that. If I am honest.
No. I think that was mine from 10 years ago.
So I know what I don't like.
That's good. That's sometimes the hardest part.
Okay.
Okay. You guys go through a bunch of stuff and eventually find what you do maybe like, also in conversation with her. She measures all of you, dictates to her aide who takes down all the measurements.
I assume that you will be needing this in the next day or two, given the gala is this weekend.
Yeah.
All right, and that will be potentially difficult, but possibly doable for friends of Mr. Rosewood. Okay. To determine cost, what are you all getting?
Oh boy.
I think we had sent you pictures at one point.
You had?
I still have no idea.
I've
what
seen
direction
Oh,
I've
no.
seen ideas many
Oh,
a
yeah.
time, but I don't think I've seen finals.
No.
I know what Yaznip is getting.
Okay, what's Yaznip getting?
Yaznip is getting a suit jacket, but the left side is going to be black with silver embroidery in the fashion of his tattoos going down the arm. And the other side is going to be the opposite. So it's going to be a white with, or a silver with black going down on that
Cool.
side.
Oh
That's cool.
my. Okay.
Then a nice loose fitted collared shirt with some, not buttoned up, but some kind of pocket square on the inside so
Okay.
that it pulls the attention. And then for pants, he would do something a little bit more flowy. So not a tight fit, but a little bit of a looser fit. And he would do a similar style for the pants.
Okay. Okay. Shoes as well?
Yes, please.
Okay. And just so we are very clear, because if you are not used to this sort of place, I don't want to be presumptuous. These will all be purchased to keep for yourself.
Yes.
Yes.
All right. Just some people come in here thinking we are a rental place. It is not the way I work. I
Oh.
tailor to you, and it is for you alone.
Please feel free to make any embellishments on mine that you think would be best.
Understood. Okay. That is going to run on the higher end. So that'll be 80 gold.
Okay. So I'll mark 5 gold
No,
off.
no. We have money for this.
I know, but
Yeah.
it's 75. Oh, wait, yeah, we have
75
You
divide.
have an
Yeah.
extra 75.
We're okay.
Okay.
Okay. Who's next?
I sent you my picture.
I did see that. Okay. That is gonna fit within the type of thing she does quite often. That'll be on the less expensive end, so we'll say 65 gold.
If there's not a hat, I'm going to be disappointed.
There's not a hat. With like, it what a surprise.
Okay. Is it a surprise that might add a lot of cost?
Yeah. Maybe
Okay.
like a medium. I'll
Wait,
see what
is it
everyone
a
else.
surprise for me?
No.
Oh,
Okay,
that's
you want to
pretty
DM me
nice.
then?
Yeah.
Okay, and I'll DM you the change, and you can make the difference in the money since you're managing the money
Okay,
anyways.
guys, which way were we going? Were we going?
I was under the impression you and I are both going to be bodyguards.
Yes, but what?
So if you are down to rock a pantsuit,
Okay.
I had pictured something with like structured shoulders
Yeah.
that was more of like the samurai build, and then like maybe like a lean cut but still loose and not tight around the arms and legs, but
I
still
just
like
look
more of a
an
slim
Oh.
fit.
puff it, put it in like a cuff so
it.
your forearms
Puff
are
it,
just
yeah.
like there.
Hey, yo!
Yeah.
And then
yeah.
like a what like do the thing where it's like the suit coat without the blouse underneath, but the suit
Mhm.
coat doesn't like not super revealing, but just so it's like, you know what I'm talking about?
I feel like if everybody that could be doing this, it'd be fine with me because it's not gonna matter either way. If it's like revealing, because it's not gonna matter regardless.
The color
Okay.
is the question. Are we going with like a navy? Are we going like a burgundy, green? I feel like the vibe is generally
I think a yellow,
Really?
A yellow.
or gold.
like some kind of like a yellow or like
Something that
Maybe
pops.
khaki, somewhere in there.
You're gonna
I
get
would
black
say-
fur all over it.
I would,
That
yeah,
doesn't
I
matter.
would say a navy with gold embellishments. That could be maybe like, you know, that eclipse design that's on the
Yeah,
logo or something like that.
I think the other concern is just looking too much like I do already, and I think I already have a lot of that color already to begin
Ooh,
with.
With navy?
Yeah.
Pink.
Did you
What
push
about-
and
oh.
limit?
White, just
Oh my
straight
God.
white.
White
I
white
mean-
would actually be pretty good.
White would
Yeah.
actually be clean as hell.
Yeah,
White would be clean.
I
What
think
about like a deep plum, like a really dark?
Mm.
We're speaking of Ryan now.
Mhm.
so. It's that or like an emerald green,
Okay.
but
All right.
um,
Your choice. That part, the color doesn't match the cost, so
Okay.
you can make that decision at a later date if you want.
I
but
would beg to differ. To make purple is very expensive, but
they've got every
yeah.
fabric
Yeah, they don't. I don't think that. I think it's the style itself that's more the problem, not really the color, because I think they. Yeah.
Okay, that's gonna be definitely a little less complex than Yosnip, so we'll put that one at 70 gold.
I think
And-
Leah, the dress that you did find though, she probably does try that at one point, just like as a choice.
what I
The
did?
black one that you found that has like the wing on
Mm.
the
oh,
shoulder.
I forgot about that. Yeah.
Yeah. Except that one's probably white.
Sticks out. Look great in it.
So
then she's
Canon
like,
Eclipse is
no.
trying on dresses. in
My
this-
god! It was probably
Word.
recommended at some point.
Said-
Okay.
And then she's like, no, this is.
How, since it's happening canonically, how awkward is she in it? Or not at all?
It's probably like noted. She doesn't seem uncomfortable in it. She just doesn't assess that it's appropriate
Okay.
and then puts it back.
Okay. Brightwing?
I think Brightwing, throughout the many different looks and stuff, she finds one, or she finds a sample of one that has very detailed beading in it, which reminds her of home, because they do very detailed beaded work, with like tapestries and woven stuff like that with beads and stuff, and she really likes that. And so she kind of goes up to the person and is like, could I have that style of dress, but with this beaded work on it?
I can make almost anything work, so yes, we can do that. What is the style you were looking for?
And it's a mermaid cut, so it's the one that I sent before.
Okay.
That it's the beaded at the top that goes into the A-line mermaid. What's it called? Tulle of the different colors.
This is the multicolored, like the pastel-y multicolored one? Yes,
This
okay.
one.
Okay.
But she makes it saying that she needs room in the so like a bit of an exposed back, so her feathers can stick out.
Mm-hmm.
So
Is
it's
this
like
the coloration?
yeah,
Okay. Okay. Very Brightwing. All right. With the beadwork, that one will also run more on the expensive side, so we'll call that 75. But also doable.
Okay, so Yasnip's was
80.
80. Eclipse's was 75. Brightwing's was-
I think
Or
Eclipse's
70?
was 70, yep.
Okay. Brightwings was 75.
Yep.
Okay,
And
my
yours was
original was 60. So you
plus
tell
something
me.
that you'd
you-
finally just DM'd me.
and I think Brightwing's actually gonna shift too, and pluck some of her feathers to give to the seamstress to incorporate it into the dress as well.
I also put on
Sorry,
the
say that
table.
again, Brightwing. I was
Uh,
distracted by
Brightwing's
Megan.
Brightwing's gonna shift
Okay, in the shop?
in the shop and pluck
Okay.
some of her feathers to give to the seamstress so she can incorporate it into the dress as well.
Okay. Okay. And
Also
I'm.
forgot
Yes.
about the joke of the Puss in Boots look because of the hat. That was still an option, but I don't know
The
if that would be worth doing.
The hat
Oh,
or the boots?
Just like a general
the
stupid look
cape.
like that with, yeah, like a cape and the hat and the everything else. But I mean,
Oh.
that was just more of a joke, but I don't know if that was something.
we could reroute, but I would concern that you would look like a pimp.
That's right.
The hat you have free regardless,
I'm
so
not-
you're good on that front.
I'm not gonna wear that.
Like with the
Okay.
spear as a
You
pimp
fucking
cane.
imagine, dude.
Oh man. Okay.
Or a pimp cane that
Uh,
like
With the lock.
rips out into a rapier.
It's just blue mage at that point.
Yeah.
Mm,
But no, yeah, we're fine.
Okay. Okay.
Oh, then that's fine.
Okay.
Then we're good.
All right. Okay.
We got 40 gold left over.
True. All right. You. It takes quite a bit by the time that all the measurements, all the initial scouting of what you wanted, all the measurements, taking down all the notes are done. Sun is setting. So it's almost getting dark. But you guys provide your details, and she, I will say, we can probably have this ready by Friday evening, but if you are not looking to cut it that close, there could be a small expedite fee to get it in the morning on Friday. The goal is on Saturday, so...
Oh, as long as we've got it by Friday, we'll be fine.
All right.
Today's Wednesday.
Today is Wednesday.
Ah.
Okay. You pay?
Yes.
Okay. Payment is made. Notes are taken. Outfits are on the way. And we will end the session there and pick up with potentially dinner and drinking with Rafe. And then whatever the heck you guys want to do for the next 2 days, please feel free to figure it out and let me know. But the city is yours. Woo-wee!
We can't get anything to get ourselves arrested. So we can't go like that.
Nonsense. There's so much opportunity for getting arrested and then getting broken out.
True.
We have
Favorite
time.
moments?
We could absolutely do that.
I will say, like, straight out away, even if we are drinking with Rafe, I think we get to have, like, a sit down and drink day.
Yes.
Just
Yeah.
party.
Yes, we do. We're owed one.
I like sneaking back into the mansion.
That's fun.
That was fun.
That was pretty great. Classic D&D right there.
Yeah.
We adore her.
Breaking into a mansion, not to steal anything, but just because we don't want to get caught sneaking back into our own house.
Mm-hmm.
It's like high school vibes.
I like my weather app.
Oh, yeah. That was pretty good.
I'm pleasantly surprised how this conversation with the wind
Mhm.
went.
Yeah.
We learned a lot more than I thought we would.
How much money was in that box?
500 platinum.
500 platinum or 500
was-
gold worth of
that-
platinum?
500 platinum.
Platinum.
Oh
I'm
my!
sorry. What?
was
That
fi- it
was
was-
the price.
It was 5,000 gold.
Yes, that was the price for kill
Holy
and or
shit.
capture of
I
the
do not
assassins.
remember it being that much money.
Oh my
Jesus Christ. Okay.
So everybody gets 50. And then we put 50 away. I mean, we never
Well,
talked about.
That's only half.
Yeah, there's 500.
That's 250.
Yeah, that's.
Oh.
Everyone gets
Yeah.
100 and then 100 gets put away is what I think you meant to say.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
I-
That is
Yeah.
so much money.
I'm okay with putting more of it into the party fund to put away in the pocket knife.
I think, but we could say it's spoken for. You know, like we don't need to all
Yeah.
have that on our person, but we could say like as far as if everyone wants to
Yeah.
keep their own little pouch of platinum in there.
Yeah, I do not want to have that much platinum on me at one given
On
time.
your
That is-
person.
No,
That is
no, you
fucking
do not.
Mm-mm.
awful.
I would say put it in your individual inventory so you know
Right. Okay.
So it's 100
for,
each. and
for
then
accounting
100 to the-
purposes.
100 to the party
For the
fund.
party fund.
My God.
We got money.
Holy shit, we finally got paid. It's been like 4
We've
months.
we've been so poor.
But yeah,
Um,
I think that was probably just the collective of how that turned out was pretty good. I liked that a lot.
Yeah, I liked interacting with them. I think they were very. They
Until
were
we get
much more
aggressively
reasonable.
stabbed in the back, but it's okay. It'll be fine.
Mhm.
For now, we're good.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of the stuff, a lot of the good that was able to come out of that was because of how well you guys have interfaced with Rylus.
Mm.
Because he was the one to lay down the foundation of this is what these people are and this is what we can expect of them. And if things had gone differently with Rylus at various points, this might not have been possible, but he built a very good rapport.
He's like, listen, they're a bunch of chuckle fucks, but they know what they're about.
But the chuckle
But-
fucks get shit done.
Real.
Uh-huh.
Big facts.
I did
Yeah.
like the lore drop.
Yeah, that
I
was-
think the lore
Oh,
drop
yeah.
was very, very
that was
good.
a lot.
But there's
It's been
3 people
Well, just-
working together and a
So
4th.
far.
Wild
But they
card.
think it's not confirmed, but that is the theory.
Also, the fact that the illusion Drakkar might be going is
Oh,
fucking
yeah.
terrifying. That's
Ooh,
a lot to deal with.
Yeah.
I'm not excited about that one.
Oh, I need to make a note of. Maybe
I
for the,
think,
on the next
Brian, I
one.
think you should handle him and keep your eyes doing.
You know he's gonna target the one of us that doesn't fucking say things properly. It's not gonna be good, man.
And they could look like anything.
Anyone.
Yeah.
Dang.
It's true, 'cause
It's not
illusion.
confirmed.
It's gonna be mind
but it's
games as
suggested
fuck.
that
Yeah.
they could be a changeling as well. Like
Oh, it's
there's
true.
rumors I thought of that
Yeah.
because no one knows what they truly look like, and it's not that they. I think there were rumors of them perhaps being a changeling because they are seen in different forms, but it could also just be illusion-based magic, and they just are that powerful that their DC is so
That's
high that
true.
people can't see through it.
Sounds like someone I could impersonate.
If we do it well.
Well, and there's nothing to see through with you.
Mm-hmm. Could be believed that I'm him.
That would be some true mindfuckery going on in the gala,
Mhm.
dude. That'd be wild.
Yeah.
That's playing with fire. That's what that is.
Oh,
I think
yeah,
they
that's
think
a
it's
very
fun.
potentially
No, that's
large.
that's
one,
the
potentially.
evocation Drakkar. We're fine. She won't be there.
Hey,
Yeah,
yo.
don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, the ability to be able to share some of that stuff based off how you guys have played out and set up this relationship was pretty cool. With regard to what's coming up, let me know what you guys are going to want to do these next 2 days, 2.5 days. Also, given the amount of money you just acquired, I'm assuming you're going to want to go shopping for fancy shit.
Well,
I think we're
we
probably
we're
putting it
not
on
in-
hold for right now because it's
we're
not.
not in bad
We need
shape.
rope. We need rope.
Shit.
Okay,
We need 100
if-
platinum worth of rope
If there's
immediately.
anything,
Out of the gate.
if there's anything beyond simple stuff like that
Yeah.
you guys think you're gonna want to get, let me know. If there's magic item type things you think you'd want to look into, let me know.
Okay.
Whatever you want to set up for these next 2 days,
We
you
might
have
need
a
more
very
potions,
large
that's
capital
like-
city.
Mhm.
Potions are the
Lifetime
only thing I
supply
can
of
think of.
feather tokens.
Yes.
True.
God, we
Pretty
need all
much.
of it.
Another bright ball since Nas kept one of mine.
Damn,
Ayo.
that's rough.
Saving that for later.
Hey.
Right.
I'm down to one.
Oh yeah, we should go back
Deal
to the
with it.
Emporium to see what that guy has.
Oh, that's right.
I just like the little trinkets, like the little
Yeah, exactly.
the little knickknacks,
He's
because
probably
I
got
like
new ones.
everyone
You've been
knows
doing
like
them
Boots
really
of the
good.
Wandering Path and like Cloak of Elvenkind and like those kinds of things, but I like
I just want
seeing
the
like
silly
Matt's
stuff.
creative items. So those are fun.
Give me the silly stuff.
Also,
Give
we
me the silly
most
stuff.
likely do not have game next week.
Right.
Okay. That's
Right.
right.
Most
Are
likely.
we-
Okie dokie.
Are we attempting to dress at all for this gala?
Y'all.
I know. Wednesday group we just did it, but
I'm very down to. It won't be next session probably, unless you guys
Yeah.
have very limited stuff you want to do in the city. But I'm guessing you'll.
I would
And
need
plus,
a
knowing
heads
this
up if
party,
That's what we're gonna do.
drinking with Rafe will take 2 hours. So.
Yeah, for real.
then drinking with ourselves will take 3.
Oh
Right.
my god, yeah, that's a whole session on.
I would say that I think we're happy to I don't let me put words in your mouth, but I think we're happy to coast for a minute.
Yeah.
I legit think that maybe not the next session, but the session after, we should all just drink and just have that be the session.
Oh my god, that'd be
And
Just
talk
so
in
just
character.
drink in character.
Drink-
Oh my
drink in
god.
character and
Yeah.
just talk and just do whatever the fuck we want.
Drunk
That could be
Anthara.
Yeah, well, talking Anthara
I'd have
from
to
the
convince-
perspective
I'll
of
have
Yeah,
to talk
yeah,
to
the
yeah.
player of the characters
yeah,
and not the
I'll have
players.
to figure out after things happen if that's okay.
Yeah,
For sure.
Word.
Yeah, yeah.
I
Okay.
think that'd be great.
Yeah.
All right. So plenty of time to come up with what you guys want to do. If someone's gonna want to draw people in fancy clothes, you have time to do that, and then we will come back for a couple days in the city, and then eventually the gala this weekend. Somewhere in the session 60s, because we're getting to 60 next time.
We could stretch it to
Till
69.
then. Yes, let's go. Adios.
Bye.